started getting warm. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of cold and wet this whole fucking time.
I thought this one was
The sun is supposed to be like now, eh? The sun.
Right, we're
Yeah,
live.
but it didn't be like a month ago. Hey man, hey, shalom, shalom. Hey, we want to give all praise, honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakah Kodash. We want to give double honor to the elders, the apostles, GMS, and shalom at this the hopeful elect, pushing his truth and all sincerity, man. We're just gonna jump into it, man. I was just speaking to the brothers, man. This news article that came out with natives, Native Americans who are the Gadites or the children of Israel. They just recently discovered like a grave basically of 215 children, dating back to the 1960s, man. And we know Esau's wickedness is vast, man. And what we know about his wickedness is really only the tip of the iceberg of things. And it's every day something new comes out on this devil to show you, to prove to the people what the scriptures say about him, man, that he's the devil. But people still want to act like he's an angel, man. He's a good person. But everything that he's ever done is based on evil and wickedness, man. And he just continues, he changes his PR up, he making like he's trying to do good for the world, man. But all he's ever done in the world is evil, wickedness. All right, and this is just another case of that, and another reason or an additional reason as to why he's going to be destroyed. Because hey, these weren't just any children. Okay, these were the children of the Lord. These were sons of God, man. And you're going to pay for all your crimes, even the ones we don't even know about, even the ones that don't get revealed up until the point you get destroyed. Okay, you're going to pay for every last drop of blood. So Esau, he ain't good, and he ain't going to get away with shit. He ain't going to ride off into the sunset. Right, the Lord right now is destroying his kingdom, man. All right, so I'm just going to read some of this. This is from CNN World, right? And it's entitled, it says unthinkable. Well, to you, to the masses of people, they probably think this is unthinkable, but this is well within the realms of Esau, man, that we're aware of. It says unthinkable discovery in Canada, all right, as remains of 215 children found buried near residential school. All right, and it says here the gruesome discovery took decades, and for some survivors of Kamloops Indian residential school in Canada, the confirmation that children as young as 3 were buried on school grounds crystallizes the sorrow that they have carried all their lives. And this is a common thing among our people, man. Wherever Esau's come and wherever he's gone, all people suffer, is sorrow, man, because Esau just destroys them.
The good Christian man, man.
Yeah.
Beware.
God's chosen,
Beware the Christian man with the pale skin. The pale skin Christian.
But this is a common story that you hear among people that Esau goes around. They want to pretend like these events didn't take place, that somehow they don't matter no more. We all know what Esau did when he came to the Americas. But now people parade that was something great, like, oh yeah, we're Americans, but yeah, what did you do to get the land? Slaughtered a bunch of people, stole everything from them. How can you glory on that? You know what I'm saying? Okay, yeah.
This is the book of Ezekiel 35:5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end.
Right, so this anger that you have is perpetual, it's continuous, it's been there since the beginning, right? And it's to such an extent where, hey, Israelites across the fucking world weren't safe. They purposely left the heathen so they can go, keep the laws, statutes, commandments, man. I mean, that didn't turn out well because they went off anyway. And this is ultimately why the Lord sent Esau over there. But they weren't bothering you. They weren't doing nothing to you. But you made extra effort to go there. Sent Columbus over there. Cristobal Colon. took it in, your Hebrew interpreters, because you knew who was over there. All right. And you befriend them, and do all these types of things, only to stab them in the back, ultimately to take them down, because that's what the devil do. Okay, scripture speak about that. Trust not thine enemy, man. Man, I'll be friendly and cry tears and all kinds of shit, man. But he's looking to take you out, and that's what Esau does. That's what Esau's been doing. More.
Therefore, as I live, say the Lord, power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and the blood shall pursue thee.
Right. So when we talk about your judgment for these wicked and vile acts, you don't want no part in that. You want to try and wash the blood off your hands, kind of thing. But now the Lord said the blood's going to pursue thee. He's going to prepare you unto blood. So when we talk about your destruction, man, that's coming straight out of the scriptures. As much as it would please me to get rid of you because you're like a cancer on the earth, it's not because of our will. It's not because of our wants or desires. It's because it's written in the scriptures, man. It has to happen, right? It needs to happen. Okay, Esau does need to be removed from the earth because you've wrought so much harm in this world that really it's unpayable. Like, you can't really pay that back, and without the Lord just erasing you. That's why the Lord is taking such extreme measures against you, man. Right? Yep.
Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
Yeah, you don't care about shedding blood, But when we talk about your blood's got to be shed, nah, you don't want none of that.
Yeah, well, then we become haters.
Yeah.
When we talk about justice, they basically try make us look as if we're being hateful, which is it's righteous indignation, man. I got a couple of precepts from the comment board there because they're pretty good. Nahum 3:5, it says, "Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will shew the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame." And that's happening because a lot of this stuff is coming out, and because we live in a global world, it's coming out on the internet and it's getting out there throughout the entire earth, and people are seeing it. Like, this isn't like the brother said, it's not an isolated incident. Another famous one is them children's homes they had down there in the Isle of Wight. Is it Isle of Wight or the Isle of Man? Which one's down south? Is it Isle of Man?
Isle of Wight is down south.
Yeah, I think it was the Isle of Wight down there.
Channel. Yeah.
And they had issues where they found babies' bones and all these things at the children's homes. A lot of these children's homes, and a lot of them was run by the churches, were rife with sexual and satanic ritual abuse. And then it's to the point where a lot of the survivors end up in jail. They end up drug addicts, and people don't realize why these people are the way they are. And then so when they even do come out, when they come out and say, "Oh, this is what happened to me," they become what's known as what the people treat them as if they're what's it called? There's a word for it. What's the word again? What's the word? Unreliable?
Say again. Sorry.
Was it like, what's it called when you're like the source is unreliable? I forgot what the word. But that's how they treat these people, because they're drug addicts and they're criminals. A lot of them end up with criminal records. When they come out and say, "Well, this person touched me," they say, "Well, we can't believe that person because they're a drug addict and they're a criminal." Yeah. But the reason they're a drug addict and they're a criminal is because of the abuse that happened to them. And it's coming out more and more. There's all kind of channels on YouTube where people are going and interviewing these children, and it's coming out. The Catholic Church recently had the big scandal with the football coaching in the UK. The football coaches were inappropriately dealing with them boys and so forth.
American football back in America.
Oh, Sandusky. All right, boys home. Epstein. So all these things are coming out, man. And the nations are seeing that this man is the devil. All this time he's talking about children's charities and children's rights, when the whole time he's really a mass abuser of children. Beginning with the Israelites.
And this is another case, because like I said, these weren't just any children. These weren't your children. These weren't Edomite children. These were what they call natives, right? Which we know to be the Gadites, man. So it's like you particularly target. Well, you have targeted us, man. That's not even, you haven't targeted us, man. We just read it as well.
Oh, I got another verse here. And I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and will set thee as a gazing stock. Meaning what? People are gonna start looking at you Edomites as how you are.
Yeah.
See, right, for the longest while, due to their promotional abilities, they've been able to against reality, deceive the world into feeling like, well, these people, they're the saviors of mankind.
Yep.
They're a righteous people. You know, they believe in love and
We're trying to
liberty.
do the right thing.
Yeah, and freedom. They know, oh, America is the free world.
Yeah, yeah.
We're trying to promote freedom and
And they
liberty.
put all these other titles on them, God's nation and this,
Yeah.
that, the third, you know?
But really, they're not. They're oppressors.
Yeah.
You know, they're demonic individuals that impoverish nations and bleed people dry, and they and do satanic ritual abuse. So that's gonna stick to them now. They're gonna start being exposed more and more. All right.
right.
John 10:10 said, "The thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill." Right, and to destroy. And that's what Esau did. Anywhere he's gone, he's destroyed the people that's been there before him, so he could build on top of it, on top of their ashes.
Yep.
Right, and he's stolen land, stolen resources, stolen history.
And that all goes back to Esau's blessing, man, saying that he'd live by the sword.
That's right.
You know, because that's what only how he's got everything. Because everyone's got their inheritance. No one should have really had to war for their inheritance. It was given to them. You know, that land of Israel was given to us by prophecy. You know, by the Lord's word. But Esau had his land. All these other nations had their land. So why was it necessary for him to go around and take everybody else's? Because he now had to steal it from them. That means he'd have to kill people to get it. And that's what he's done. That's why Esau is everywhere.
And that's a fact. And the fact that Native American Indians exist shows that they're thieves.
Yeah.
Because they have been marginalized in their own land.
Put on reses, man.
You know, when people think of America now, the archetype American is a so-called white man. In fact, they went as far as to sculpt their image. They sculpted their image into Mount Rushmore, man. You know, they actually spent money and time and resources
The hubris.
to the hubris of it, the arrogancy. Okay,
Yep.
right? But for to steal and to kill and to destroy, I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly, because it is the Lord's intention to restore the nation of Israel unto peace and glory. But as we keep trying to tell you Israelites, that is not the intention of the so-called white man. The intention of the so-called white man is not to restore us as a people. His intention isn't to edify us. Anything that this man comes up with, and he does, ultimately the agenda behind it all is towards our destruction and our oppression.
Yep.
Case in point, Black Lives Matter. That's why you see Edomites when you see Edomite corporations jumping on a bandwagon,
You know already.
just know, fam. Yeah,
They're
just
there to
know.
control. They're here to control you, control the narratives, control what you do and what you don't do. That's why he's got you out there with placards, man, not doing shit. You know, not that you're gonna be able to do shit anyway, but it's Esau controlling what you do. You think it's you. You think it's your own will. No, he's controlling you. You know, it's all
Yeah.
being, you know.
It's supposed to be the scriptures matter.
Yep, yep.
This man talking about Black Lives. No, what we're saying, vocab, all right, is that the scriptures matter. Not Black Lives Matter, but the scriptures matter. And everything we preach is according to what's in the scriptures, man.
What a fucking dude, man. Vocab's a character, man.
He a demon, innit?
You know. And I watched that the video recently about the black dirty skin thing.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, the majority of people are melanated, bro.
Yeah,
So
but-
does that mean every person except for the white man is dirty? Like, what is
Yeah,
wrong
but
with you,
that's
man?
why we told you from day one that these Edomites are all white supremacists, so-called white supremacists.
But we got leprosy in the scriptures though, and that is unclean.
He won't touch on that.
That's what I mean. Like, it's so
He won't touch
fucking
on that because
ridiculous.
Vocab Malone is a so-called white supremacist, and his spiritual forefathers like
Rise and Nazi, bro.
yeah, rise of the Nazi. His spiritual forefathers that taught him his Christian doctrine were all white supremacists. This is a fact.
Calvinist, man.
We keep telling you this, but man's people don't act like they can't understand what we're trying to tell you. That's
because he's, you know, he's
Yeah.
smiling. And
Yeah.
he's
Nah.
acting like he cares.
That don't
No.
mean nothing. His forefathers that taught him that doctrine were all basically slave owners, right? If they believed in the same doctrine that Vocab Malone is teaching, then why were the so-called Negroes put into slavery? Why are we reading about Native American Indians being slaughtered and buried in a church?
By your mans.
That's his dudes. That's his peoples right there. showing you it don't matter what they say. It's about what they do. He don't love us, man. We knew that. We knew that his problem was a superiority problem. He don't like the fact that we're coming out and saying we're the people of the Most High, which makes us superior. He don't like that. He don't want to have to digest that, because in his mind he's superior to us. That's why nothing we say is ever taken is valid. I don't see him going out there and questioning the multitude of Edomite scholars out there with differing doctrines to him. He doesn't question them because they're Edomites. But with us, he got to question everything we say, and if he says what we're saying is wrong, we have to accept that. Oh, you the Hebrew you're speaking is wrong. What makes the Hebrew that you know about right? Because I say so. That's the spirit he's on. Jeremiah 22:13. Woe unto him that buildeth his house by unrighteousness, and his chambers by wrong.
What was righteous about Esau's, kingdom? How it all started? What's righteous about it? What was great about it? Because we always talk about America, making America great again. What was great about it? It was built upon slavery, man, blood.
And it still is. Their business, corporations and their business practice. I remember when we used to study business studies, and they used to talk about business ethics. They don't give a damn about. Listen, business ethics is what can I do and get away with. That's why they spend a load of money on PR. How can we maximize our profit without throwing attention and shade on our company?
And this is true, because businesses are always looking where they can push the boundaries of things, man.
Of course.
Always looking, right? And it's not until someone comes up with or they notice something and they want to make a law for it afterwards, after the gain's been gotten already,
Yeah.
But he always does that, because now he stops everybody else from gaining from the same method.
Yeah.
Because remember the libel scandal and that shit?
Yeah.
Bro, they knew what they were doing. They knew it weren't fucking right.
Hella unethical.
But man made all this money and got to fuck off.
Like this green thing, remember that you go to the supermarket and they charge you 5p for a bag now. Now, they're earning 5p off every one of them bags. But at the same time, they're getting the PR that they're trying to help the environment.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, their business practice are not really helping the environment overall. But they can push that in your face. They have a PR company that can use that and say, look, this is what we're doing. And then Nike's still got sweatshops and shit. Do you know what I mean? It's all bullshit. These people are the devil, man. It says that useth his neighbor's service without wages and giving him not for his work. And that's Esau Edom. He doesn't fully compensate the nation of Israel for our labors, man. And even after hardcore slavery, what did he do? Give us cheap labor. He'll pay you the least amount that he can pay you so that he could be a billionaire and a trillionaire.
To keep his business model.
How do you think a man becomes a billionaire? How do you think 1% of the population have 99% of the wealth? Do you think you do that by being fair and by paying people the right amount that they should be paying? Here it is, you're in London, right? And you be working for a multi-billion-dollar company and earning 20 grand a year. How are you meant to survive in London on 20 grand a year? £9 an hour. Meanwhile, the CEO is a fucking billionaire. How does that work?
Everyone's had this discussion about, what a man should be getting paid, like as a minimum, like living wage and that kind of stuff, right? But who's in control? Who gets paid? The companies. If they were that sympathetic with the idea, they would just pay, man. Like,
they just pay you more. But Amazon should be paying them.
You gotta go fight them, though.
Yeah.
That's how much they care. You gotta fight them to get you to pay.
Amazon could pay their workers a lot more than they pay them.
Bezos, bro.
Bezos, come on, he's the richest. Anyway, like
they don't care. They don't fucking care. Esau his kingdom is not set up to care. It's set up to fucking make money.
They could pay the workers in shares, to give the workers the shares so that they get dividends. They ain't gonna do all that. Bezos keeping all the shares to himself. Right, Numbers 35 and 33. So you shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
And that's why there's a great sacrifice going to happen in America, man. Because like I said, it was founded off that blood, man. And when the Lord turns up with the angels and the missiles all coming heading your direction, ain't no one getting out of America, man. You're all gonna burn there, man. The only ones that are gonna make it out are the elect. you know, but you know that's not a large number of people in the scheme of it. So they're gonna be millions that are gonna die in the land of America, man.
Well, that's that sacrifice that the Lord have in Bozrah.
Yep.
In Isaiah the 34th chapter.
Yep.
Esau gonna have to be a sacrifice. See, they've been telling you that there's a savior for all men. There's not. There's only a savior for the nation of Israel. Yahweh Shai sacrificed himself for the sins of the nation of Israel.
Right.
Now, you Edomites, you don't have a savior. There's no scapegoat or no one that can offer up a sacrifice for you. So you're gonna be a sacrifice for your own sins, and that's what's about to happen. There's gonna be a mass bloodletting. You know.
Why should anyone save you, man? You know what I mean? If you ask yourself that question, why should you be saved, man? Look how much shit you've done on the planet, man.
Yeah,
you know, and I don't care if you call yourself a Christian or that kind of stuff. You don't really believe in the scriptures. You don't really follow the scriptures. You don't do what the Lord told you to do. You're not trying to make amends. You know, everyone's is selfish at the end of the day, man. You know, and therefore, man, you know, the Lord ain't coming to save no fucking Edomite that is just continuously being the devil. Ultimately,
I got the Edomite scripture right here.
There we go.
Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 7. It says, "Let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments, and let no flower of the spring pass us by." So that's that dream that these Edomites have been living.
Yeah.
These top level, I'm talking about from the middle class upwards. They've been living good. They've been enjoying the finer things in life. Meanwhile, the rest of the world,
at your expense.
At your expense, according to your labor and your toil and your suffering.
Yep.
These Christians, these charitable individuals, it says, "Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered. Let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place.
Mount Rushmore.
For this is our portion, and our lot is this." Yeah, they're the ones that's known. They're the ones that's able to travel the world and, you know, go on these 5-star holidays all over the world. That's an Edomite thing to do.
Yeah.
Ultimately, now we're not saying no other people have what they call holidays, but what you'll find is if you go somewhere that's expensive, right, and a resort, you'll find that it's catered towards Edomites.
100%.
The food that they cook, the music, everything's going to be catered. Like these Royal Caribbean cruises, who do you think they're expecting to turn up on them cruises?
Bro, it's like anything. Anytime I've been away, right, you get on the plane, you get in a boat, you're like the one Jake.
Yeah.
You're like the one black family there, like, and everyone else is either or Moab or something. Like
it'll be like
you know?
2 days before you gotta leave when you see another black family, and you'll be like,
places like smell that.
you do that head nod like, yeah, what's up? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro.
These devils are the ones, when it comes to luxury goods and luxury lifestyles, these Edomites are the ones that it gets marketed to. It really don't get, what they market to you Jakes is like certain types of clothing, like certain key clothing brands they'll market to you Jakes, and like, you know, some Jordan trainers. When it comes to Caribbean cruises, they don't market that to you Jakes, because they know you, like 99% of you can't afford it anyway.
Part of the tourist attraction.
Yeah.
You ain't meant to be on the
you
boat
might work
that.
on the fucking boat, but they market it to these Edomites, man, because these are the ones that have the disposable income to enjoy the finer things.
And they would not for a second trade places with you, Jake.
Oh hell no, because they know.
And what does that tell you? That the Lord couldn't have been a so-called white person, because the Lord traded places, man. He took our punishment.
He wouldn't want to do that, man.
You know, the Lord died for our sins, man. Esau ain't trying to do nothing close to that. You know?
It says here, "Let us oppress the poor righteous man." And that also goes into anyone that stands up for the right of the matter. They call them whistleblowers.
Yeah.
Whistleblowers don't get glorified in this man's kingdom.
Vilified.
They get vilified and they get dead. Yeah, this is a fact.
Yeah.
This is what we do know. Like, if you go against the agenda by speaking the truth, it don't matter whether you're on any level. It could be in boxing. We were just talking about it earlier. Man like Teddy Atlas, man like Polly Malignaggi, they ain't getting the jobs no more. Why? Because they don't go along with the corporate agenda. They speak the truth. There you go. You get X'd out, right? Stephen A. Smith and them devils. They're devils. That's why they're given the platform that they're given, because they go along with the agenda. Once you start speaking truth in this man kingdom, you're gonna go. Don't you think there's lots of doctors out there that speak against a lot of these poisons in the pharmaceutical industry? You know what happens to them? their career's done.
Shut down.
Their career is finished. They won't get the high paid jobs. They won't be given the bigger platforms. They'll become fringe in society.
Yeah, then quack jobs.
They'll be quack job. But he got a PhD and a doctorate.
yeah.
But don't listen to that guy.
Yeah.
He don't know what he's talking about.
He's not on the payroll no more.
He's not on the payroll. He's not getting that do the right thing money. Yeah? This whole society is based upon oppressing any form of righteousness wherever it may be. Right? As soon as you speak out, you're going to be moved out because you're rocking the boat, so to speak. Yeah?
That's quo, innit?
The status quo. And that's what's happening now. The Hebrew Israelites, we're rocking the boat. We're exposing Christianity for what it really is. That's all we do. No, that's not all we do. But everyone knows. That's why Vocab and them man had to come out against us, because it's like for years the apostles and elders have got videos up of slaying, absolutely slaughtering Christians on the battlefields.
Exposing everything.
Hell, exposing the whole doctrine, and they're like, oh shit, man, everything's getting found out, so we got to do something about this. We got to come up with these goofy ideas, call them rapists and all this stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
Slander.
we got to slander these guys because they're telling the truth about what's really going on, the truth about it.
This is why you're losing members, man. Because they always knew things didn't add up, but because they had nothing better to do, they're in the church, man. But they're starting to leave, man. Because then they're noticing them, this ain't right.
It says
your head of your church is a fucking pedophile.
Pedophiles
Ring.
They're making all kind of money out of the people. Joel Osteen and all these guys, super rich.
Yep.
Right? Why do you need to go deal with Joel Osteen? Why are you coming to us? We're not stealing nobody's money. Great Millstone, who money we taking? We doing this for free.
Wherever we give willingly, man.
It says here, let us oppress the poor righteous man. Right? And everyone knows this society oppresses the poor. This is a rich man society. The rich can do any wickedness and get away with it. Like Epstein fucking got caught laying down with all them so-called underage girls, and he got a what they call a sweetheart deal, because he was caught already. He was allowed to basically serve out his sentence at home, right? And he got a deal where everyone else that was involved in the sex trafficking were given a what's it called, immunity. Like, how does that work? If I got caught, let me get caught with a bunch of 13, 14, 15 year olds, man, they're gonna put me under the jail. But if you got enough money in this society, it's gonna be all right. Yeah, right? These companies, these corporations will come in and molest you and take over your land. That happens in South America all the time. Big corporations come in and pollute the river, take your land, and it's like there's nothing you could do about it. And they hire thugs to come and shoot protesters and so forth.
Quick scripture, quick precept. Proverbs 14 and 20. So the poor is hated even of his own neighbor, but the rich have many friends.
Right, that's the society, and everybody knows it. That's why Prince Andrew, everybody knows he's a nonce, and he's not in jail.
Protected.
Think about that. Everybody knows that Prince Andrew is the nonce of Nottingham. Yeah, we know. But he can't sweat. You go and sweat. Trust me. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient grey hairs of the aged. Right? Because this society doesn't care about the widows. It doesn't care about the aged. This society is set up to actually steal the pensions and steal the money from the aged and steal their assets. It's demonic, man. Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing work. Meaning, in this society, it's all about, if you have the strength to do something, to take and to do, you just do it.
Might is right. That's
might is right. Yep. That's why America bullies all these nations around the world, whether it's right or wrong.
It makes an excuse to make it look good, but only they just want to steal your shit. That's what they really want to do.
They wouldn't be doing that if they were weak, but they do it because they're strong and they could pick on these other nations. Yep. Put sanctions on them and. What are you doing?
Yeah, of course, people to starve and shit.
Iran can't sell their oil. Well, why? Why can't they sell their oil, man? You were gonna put sanctions stopping them from selling their oil.
Because you don't like something.
It's demonic. Remember when they stole man's oil ship, like?
I know.
So what are you gonna do with that oil that you stole? They're gonna obviously sell it. Gaddafi's gold. Well, hey yo, where's Gaddafi's gold at?
Well, he's frozen assets in
All them frozen assets
Come
that
on, man.
Gaddafi had. Where you see how that conveniently they don't even want to talk about that no more, because the elites done chopped that up.
Yep. His son's on a run for what? Like, you know what I'm saying? All this madness, like, just because he's related. Yeah, wait, like, shit.
Yeah, this is the book of Deuteronomy 25:1. If there be a controversy between men, and they come unto judgment, that the judges may judge them, then they shall justify the righteous and condemn the wicked.
That's right. But in this society, we all know that if you got enough money, that's it. You could overturn anything.
Well, like to say money's a defense, and the more money these men have got, the more they got to play with.
Them wicked ass lawyers and all the bribery.
Because, well, as I say, because especially when you up near, you know, up the top, around the top here, man, everybody's got their prices, man. Because they're all looking to make more money.
The bribery.
So you offer enough, man, they'll turn a blind eye to shit, man. If you know that for a fact.
Yeah, they'll make sure that your story don't get spoken about on the news. There's plenty of shit going on in the world, and it doesn't make it onto the mainstream news. But the Sky News will talk about Victoria Beckham's toenail. That's newsworthy. Like, even people in the comment boards, a lot of the shit that Sky News be putting up on their YouTube, they'll be like, why is this news? Meanwhile, there'll be some British company doing some fuckery somewhere to a group of people that have been protesting for 10 years, and they can't get on Sky News for an interview. You see how it works?
Or classic example, recently, man, you know, the whole Black Wall Street thing's just come up again. Right? But they weren't trying to talk about that.
Oh, hell no.
Till now, 100 years later, because it's an anniversary. Like, what the hell is wrong with you people, man?
Yeah, it was poor people, man. If that happened to some
We didn't know.
Edomites,
Like, how?
wait,
It's because they don't want you to think about it. They don't want you to think about these things and how wicked you know these people are, man. You know.
it says, therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doings.
Yeah, and that's why we're out here speaking against you, man. Because not many people will. Not to the extent we go to. The scripture says you're the wicked, man. A whole race of people. All these Edomites are wicked, man. You know, and the Lord's gonna destroy you, man. You know?
He upbraideth us with our offending the law. Right?
Decreeing unrighteous decrees.
Yeah, you Christians, man, your society is wicked. Murder, theft, idolatry.
That's why the world is full of it.
That's why Vocab don't want to talk about Christmas. Every year, Vocab, you and your boys are celebrating Christmas, which is blatant idolatry and wickedness. You don't want to talk about that, but you want to throw shots. You talking about you want all the smoke, but you're celebrating Christmas and Easter.
It was like you always make the point, like, you know, Christianity is still the largest religion on the planet, and yet all this stuff that's not meant to be going on goes on,
and we can't point it out.
Yeah, but you want to point fingers at us, but among our community, we don't be doing the shit that you guys do, man. You know.
It says, and objective to our infamy, the transgressions of our education, he professeth to have the knowledge of God, and he calleth himself the child of the Lord. He was made to reprove our thoughts.
Good set against evil. You know.
Because we call ourselves the children of the Most High, right? We profess to have the knowledge of God, right? But what does Vocab do? He comes against that. Him and his people, right? What does it say? He was made to reprove our thoughts. He is grievous unto us, even to behold. So he can't stand it, man. These people, man, they can't stand when they see us standing in righteousness and standing for the truth. They hate it. They hate the sight of us. It burns them to the core. Right? If only you knew.
Can I get a quick scripture?
Yeah, go on.
It's Sirach 33:14 says, good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner. And these are the power, you know, the opposite roles that we play. We represent the good, and Esau represents the wicked, you know, the evil. You know, and this is why, you know, we are, you know, we're doing the job that we do, man. It's out there, we're in the spirit. It says, so is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly.
Yeah, so these guys are supposed to be against us, man. These people, these dudes, man, it's the wickedness that's going on out here is unbelievable. And that's why we can't have no respect for Vocab Malone, because I've never seen him speak about satanic ritual child abuse. That's a serious issue that's happening right now. Right now. We've spoken about it. We're talking about it right now. We're bringing out the article. See, that what we're talking about with them Gadites was satanic ritual abuse. But Vocab doesn't care about that. You know, we speak about these things because it's wicked. You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, they're just dirty.
You're not supposed to prey upon the children and prey upon the widows and prey upon the poor. The scriptures speak against doing all of that.
Well,
specifically.
It says young as free. Young as free. We all know what that's about. That's rife in the Catholic Church, you know.
Rife everywhere. School system.
And that's called extrapolation because they don't say that. Well, actually, no, they do actually mention it, man. They're subject to sexual abuse and all kinds of stuff.
Let's bring it out. And the Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
You know, everywhere. Listen, everywhere in this man's society, these Christians exist. It's nothing but wickedness going on.
Yeah.
And we call it out. We call it out. We call out slavery for what it was. For what it is. We call out the wickedness, man. We're not going to go along with this narrative that everything's okay now. It's not okay. It's going to be okay when the Lord comes and brocks you up. That's what's going to make it okay. Because we know that's what it's going to take. We're not going to be fooled into this false sense of security that you want us to be a part of. You want us to come and join your church and sing and dance. Nah.
Yeah, we could be better. Oh, man. You got something there?
Yeah, just speak.
Okay, yeah.
Habakkuk 2 and 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith.
Right, and when it comes down to it, these Edomites, beginning with Vocab Malone, they really don't have no faith in nothing that's going to happen in the future. He doesn't believe in the kingdom of heaven. He's lying. He doesn't care about all that. They care about their here and the now. They care about, that's why they're spinning the narrative, so that they can enjoy themselves here and now, man. Yep. We have faith of a kingdom to come. They're already in their kingdom. The hell are they looking for? We're the ones that's talking about a kingdom to come. America is his kingdom.
Yep.
Devil? God, let's bring, and Canada. And that's another thing. A lot of these Edomite nations like to point the finger at America. You're all going to get fucked up. Because you Canadians are not righteous either. You stole that land for the Native American Indians too.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't forgetting about that. The Native American Indians from Alaska, our people were from all the way from Alaska all the way down to the tip of South America. We possessed all those lands. Right?
And the islands and yep.
And the islands and all that. Go on up.
That's right.
Is it that tree that's giving off all this stuff?
Yeah, I was thinking probably, yeah.
Oh, it's them ones, isn't it? Yeah, it's all these ones.
Yeah, back in the article, I'm going to skip down a little bit. Alright, and this is a quotation, right? It says, to our knowledge, these missing children are undocumented deaths, she said in the statement. Okay, so yeah, they weren't meant to be discovered, man. They just disappeared, you know?
On docu, yeah, because you're meant to document when people die, right?
Yep.
Death certificate and all that.
So it's
when you're murdering people, that's the only time you don't document it.
Yep. It says, for decades, McLeod said he and the former students like him would wonder what happened to friends and classmates. So like I was saying to the brother, man, one day you be going to school with your friend, and next thing you know, he don't turn back up. You don't turn to school.
And they must have had parents, right? Or was they didn't have parents?
No, some had parents, innit? But
and then I bet you the parents wanted to know, but there's nothing they could do.
Yeah.
But if they were some Edomite and their child disappeared, guaranteed something would have to be done about it, right?
Madison, innit? Yeah, Madeline McCann.
Madeline, yeah. Something would have
for
to
years,
be done.
decades, man, on a milk carton still. Acting like they don't know what happened to her. You know, yeah. Still putting bare money into the searches.
Finding Nemo settings, man.
Yeah, man, writing bare books. Making bare money, you know? Yeah, we know. Right, it says, sometimes people didn't come back. We were happy for them. We thought they ran away. Because the school was that bad. They were happy that they disappeared because they thought they ran away.
And that shows you that they were murdered. Because they can't say then that the person was sick and then they died, because
Yep.
if you're sick, sometimes it can take a week, 2 weeks to die of sickness, and people would know that you were sick. So if you've just disappeared abruptly, that's murder.
Yep. And they do start to talk about some of the kids that might have died of tuberculosis and all this kind of stuff because they were not very well looked after, innit? But at the end of the day, man, you would know they were dead then, innit?
Yeah, you did.
And the reason behind why they were dead. But nah, this is 215 children gone missing as a mystery, bro. You know what happened, right? So we thought they ran away, not knowing if they did or whatever happened to them. Who now serves as chief of British Columbia's Upper Nicola Band. Yeah, I need to read that. So the Kamloops Indian Residential School was one of the largest in Canada and operated from the late 19th century to the late 1970s. So that's recent, really, So shit was still going on.
Well, ain't at the time they wanted to go make America great again. They want to go back to the Edomites want to go back to them good old days, innit?
So it was opened and run by the Catholic Church until the federal government took over it in the late 1960s.
And a bunch of other devils.
Yep. Says it closed permanently around about a decade later, and now houses a museum and a community facility with both cultural and memorial events. And this is what Esau does. He just changes things up, man. He makes you think, oh yeah, nothing happened here. Now we go respect Native American Indians with historical museums and blah blah blah, to make it look like he's doing something good in the world. That's what he does, man. The whole time he don't give a shit. This is I can skip that bit. So we recognise the tragic, heartbreaking devastation that the Canadian residential school system has inflicted upon so many, and our thoughts are with all those who are in mourning today, he said. Yeah, it's just words, isn't it?
Empty words, yeah.
It says in 2015, Canada's Truth and Reconciliation Commission released a report detailing the damaging legacy.
What's it called? The Truth and Reconciliation
Commission, yeah.
Well, look, man, there ain't gonna be no reconciliation between Jacob and Esau. Jacob and Esau are not gonna be reconciled. I hate to break it to you, and this goes out to all you Jakes, man. We ain't gonna get along with this man.
Never.
Let me get
enmity.
Get Genesis. Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
Get that in Genesis, man. Because a lot of you Jakes are holding out hope. You're holding out hope that you and Esau Edom, the so-called white man, are gonna get along. Sometimes you talk to these Jake and they're like, oh well, I think like in a few generations things will change. Brother, it's been a few generations, man. It's been more than a few generations.
Bad.
It's not gonna change.
And the worst thing about it is that they actually hope more in that than they hope for the return of the Lord.
There you go.
And that just shows you're bugged out, man.
They're dying for the word reconcile means to bring back to peace. We're not gonna. The intention of the Lord isn't to bring peace between Jacob and Esau. How do we know that? Because according to the prophecy, Jacob is gonna obliterate Esau.
Yep.
That's not peace. I mean, there's gonna be peace once you're obliterated, but when you're obliterating someone, it's not peace, is it? Let's get that Genesis.
Before peace, war.
Jake gotta get it into their mind, because a lot of Jake, man, they really want to make it work with Esau. Now, we're not saying go out there in the streets and the first Edomite looking because you might, fuck up your own people doing that. But the first person that looks like an Edomite, you start, everybody was kung fu fight, moving on them spirits there. Ding, 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 ding. Nah, it ain't gonna work like that. The scripture says what? Wait ye upon me, saith the Lord. So we gotta wait upon the Lord, But at the same time, it's the mindset. Our mindset should be an adversarial mindset.
Yeah.
So even though you're
a not trusting mindset.
Hey, like Vegeta, you gotta be in that Vegeta spirit.
Right.
For you guys that's into Dragon Ball Z, Vegeta,
His guard's always up.
for his whole childhood up to when he became a man, his mindset was set on revenge against Frieza and the Ginyu squad. But they didn't even know.
Yeah, they don't.
They didn't even know that. Because he was just operating
Biding
and
his
waiting
time.
his time.
Yeah, strong.
That's the spirit we're supposed to be on. We're supposed to be in the spirit of waiting our time. But Jake ain't waiting his time. Jake is trying to beg Esau to love him and to reconcile. It ain't gonna happen, man. You just get that in the scriptures.
This is the book of Genesis 3 and 14. And the Lord power said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cast above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and our seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel.
That's right. We're gonna draw this guy up, man. Jacob held on to Esau's heel.
Yep.
We're gonna pull this back down to size. And it says there'll be enmity. And that's why this whole, we don't like to talk about it in terms of black and white, because it's not black and white, right? But for purposes of people to have a basic simplistic understanding, this is why black and white can't unite. This is why it always gets corny. Case in point, Rosewood. That's a famous example of a town that had Edomites and Jake living together side by side, and in the end, what happened? It broke out into a massacre at Rosewood. Even to this very day, the whole racial inequality and it never goes away. It's still here to this very day in 2021. Why?
But in that very situation, right? The roles that's the role we're meant to play. Like we're meant to, because it seemed like Esau waiting for an opportunity to do something to Jake, right? Right. So they're always looking, they're always edgy.
Yeah.
But Jake is docile, man.
Yeah, man.
Thinking, oh yeah, he likes me now. No,
But that's
he
'cause
don't
of
fucking like
Christianity,
you.
man.
He's acting like he likes you. You
Never
know?
trust
But he's
that enemy.
waiting. Well, I had to borrow a hold if it's
Oh,
still
yeah.
there or not.
Yeah.
But Esau's waiting for you to step out of line, man.
Yeah.
Waiting you to do something so he can do something to you, because he considers you an enemy, really. And that's the way that's the mentality we're meant to be in. We're peaceable, yeah. When all things are good, yeah, we're just doing a thing in it, right? But you should always have in the back of your mind, man, this guy's the fucking devil. He don't fucking like me, right?
It's the enemy, man.
But I gotta wait upon the Lord, because the Lord gonna deal with him, because that's the mindset we're in.
And that's how them Edomites work. And even in the workplace, you think these Edomites, come on, man, they be working together. They be working together, promoting their own people. We know it.
Yeah.
Even the company me and this brother knows. The company me and this brother work for, trust me, everybody knows like what these Edomites get up to. You see the promotions they do. Some young ass Edomites come in the company, and within 3 years they got fucking 80 grand a year jobs. Motherfucker be 21 on 80k. It happens everywhere. We know that's happened to me a few companies that I've been in. I've seen Edomites get fast tracked up.
They always say it's who you know, right? But who's at the top?
It's
Esau's
Edomites,
at the top.
man. And these
So it's
Elamites
always
do
Esau
it too.
bringing Esau in.
And we're the only ones not playing that game, because these Elam, they do that. Whenever Elam get in somewhere, all of a sudden you see more Elamites getting hired, more Elamites getting management, like Shell Garage, and then they're running their things.
Yeah.
Jake are the only ones that's not playing the game the right way. You gotta hold on to your own, man. You gotta hold your side. Have your mission. Have your objectives. But Jake are trying to leech onto Esau and be part of something Esau's got going on. Esau ain't got you in mind. America's not our country. America was designed for and by Edomites, and is uplifted and upheld by the oppression of everybody else. And that's not changed in 2021. I don't give a fuck about Floyd Mayweather or none of these entertainers. That doesn't change the fact that our people are holding that place up.
Yeah, you're just little cogs in the machine, man. You're not. You're a small part of what Esau's doing. He can quite easily replace you, bro. It's not a big job.
That's right. Go on, read. Get that one that the brother wanted. I got one over here too.
Yeah, you get off. Yeah.
This Genesis 27 and the 41.
Mm.
And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him.
So he's always gonna hate us because we have something he wants and can't have. So that hatred, like we read it earlier, it's perpetual,
Yeah.
right? So that's not gonna go away. Now Harry appears on the outside, yeah, that changes up from day to day, right?
He always gonna find a reason.
Yeah, but
Well-
inside, he's full of anger and hate.
Well, Esau, some of the reasons things Esau would say about us are just ridiculous. And you go back in the history, and let's take the so-called black woman. He used the curvish the curvish nature of the black and Hispanic woman as a reason to hate. Imagine that, imagine that today. You look at a woman and she's just brutalicious as hell, and you're like, yeah, that's horrible. You just fight. That's a hater. Just Esau's the original hater, man. He was hating on everything. Anything he could hate on us for, he used it as an opportunity.
Excuse.
Oh, okay, we can't call them niggas no more. Okay, we're gonna call them thugs. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just always finding a way to manifest his hatred. But that's because that's how it's supposed to be. This man, that hatred is within him, and it ain't ever gonna be removed. It's set up. That enmity is there, man. Go on, you got sign up?
And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob.
That's right. And he's still got that spirit in him to slay you, Jakes. And that's why the time of Jacob is coming. And when the time of Jacob comes, these Edomites are going to come up with some kind of excuse for why they got to go in and blow you Jakes away.
Well, this is what I was gonna say, man. Because regardless of what's going on in the world, man, to Esau, we're an obstacle that he needs to get rid of.
A problem.
A problem that he has to solve. One of them equations he has to
A
solve.
sickness.
Yeah.
A cancer.
Yeah. That's how he looks at us, man. And that's why he's got all these agendas and all these operations in the background to really get rid of us, to destroy us, man. You know, or have us subservitude indefinitely, without any hope of, revolt or anything like that.
It's like that documentary that I posted. I don't know if you watched it. The Subnormal.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Subnormal, where what the Edomites were doing was, and they actually got the IQ test from America. When Jake was coming over from the West Indies during the Windrush area, what they were doing was, at first Jake were coming in, and you would have loads of Jake going to the same school. They said, oh, we can't have that. We can't have a school being predominantly black because it affects the education of the white students that might be in the school.
It will dumb them down.
So what they did was, well, that's why they said they did it.
Yeah.
What they did was, then they decided that what they're gonna do is they'll fund these buses that would spread the Jake children out, and they made it where a rule where there could only be like
Certain amount.
20, yeah, a certain amount of Jakes in each school. So imagine you're like in like Dagenham, and you got to go to school in Walthamstow on a bus every morning because they don't want too many of you in the same
Area.
school.
Yeah.
Now, why are they doing that? Because they don't want you to build any form of community or any form of unity or structure. So they wanted to spread them out. Now, then to make matters worse, they brought in these IQ tests. Now, the IQ tests were designed to basically that Jake would fail the IQ test, and then they would use the result of the IQ test to put Jake in what they would call special schools. And they were telling the parents, oh, they're gonna go to a special school. Come on, the West Indian, they don't understand that that's a derogatory term. They thought, oh, they're going to a special school. They didn't know what these schools were all about. These were schools for like Down syndrome children. So they were putting healthy young Jakes in a school, bunch of Down syndrome children,
But they ain't gonna learn
handicapped children, and they weren't learning nothing, and they called them subnormal, right? And they knew it was bullshit because in the test, for instance, and I knew this because I'm from the West Indies myself, the way we talk is different to how English talk. We don't say school dinners, we say lunch. We don't say hose or tap, we say pipe. Yeah, so they would have on the test, it would say identify the tap. Man don't know what the tap is. And then it went until this, I think was it the black woman or this black Jake, he couldn't believe it. It was like, no, but why are these tests saying these? And he said, he went over to the tap and he said, what's this? And the child said, oh, that's a pipe. And he's like, yeah, so the child knows what a fucking pipe is. It's just that he's from Jamaica. They don't call it a fucking tap. So your test is wrong. But then he found out that they knew the test was wrong. But they were doing it on purpose to cast Jake down from their excellency. Now, are you telling me that's not hate? When you're undermining children
You're rigging them to fail.
And rigging them to fail because they said they wanted to prepare them children for what? Menial and laborious work. So basically, they didn't want those children to grow up. Exactly. They didn't want them to get a proper education and therefore do jobs that would give them like a higher socio-economic status. Because once you go to these subnormal schools and you don't get no qualifications, you're gonna go from there to
store clerk.
Yeah, some dumbass jobs on minimum wage. So it just shows you that Esau, that's the wickedness Esau does. That's the hatred we're talking about.
Sabotage.
It ain't all about punching people down in the streets or whipping people. Just something like that is extreme hate.
Yep.
And then they showed you all the instances where they would talk about the West Indian children, about how aggressive they were violent, they were stupid. And these were the head teachers. And they still do that to our children to this day. Esau do something, oh, he's boisterous. Oh, he's Jack the Lad. Oh, he's cheeky. The Jake would do the same thing. He's disruptive, he's violent. So it's all about the terminologies that you could describe. Someone can do the same thing and you can describe it in a completely different way. And one way you describe it makes it positive and the other way makes it negative.
Yep.
Like you could say, oh, he's cheeky. Or you could say he's rude. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's how these devils operate, man. So to hell with these devils. And they got the PRU units, which is basically the same thing all over again.
Yeah.
You know? You got sign or I got sign?
Yeah, read that still. Yeah.
It's the book of Ecclesiasticus 12 on the 10. Never trust thine enemy.
Why?
Right.
Because he does shit like this.
Exactly, because a lot of the parents, they trusted Esau. They trusted him when Esau said, oh, your child, like, we're gonna send him to a special school. A lot of the parents thought that was a good thing, because Esau would be like, yeah, they're gonna get one-on-one attention, because they and then from the West Indies, when someone calls you special, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, my child's special?
Yeah.
Like, they didn't know that the school, so
it's that double speak, bro.
that double speak, man, that language that man don't know.
Fork tongue shit.
One of the guys in the documentary, he actually went to the dentist and they ended up pulling out all of his teeth. Fucking hell. So Esau decided the best thing to do with his child was to pull out all of his teeth, because they said, oh, he would get them back because he's an adult, right? Now when they pulled his teeth out, they had to put him under. He had loads of complications because it turns out he had sickle cell, what's it called? Sickle cell anemia, right? So because of that, they told the parents that he's got this sickle cell anemia. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna send him to a special school that will look after his needs. And so the parents were like, oh, okay, well, yeah, if he's got this sickle cell anemia, yeah, it sounds right. Yeah, send him to a special school. They sent him to the retard school. So he weren't learning nothing. And then no teeth. And then it weren't until what happened was these Jakes started realizing that their children weren't learning anything in school, that they started coming together. And then one Jake, a male Jake, who was actually a teacher, he kind of like realized what was going on, and they started a whole movement. That was back then when Jake had families and structure and men that would stand up. And then they worked together. The black woman and the black man were working actually together. Imagine that. And they managed to bring awareness to what was going on and get the schools closed. And not only that, to help the children catch up, guess what they did? They set up what they don't call supplementary schools, where Jake actually set up separate schools so that they were going to school after school and learning, man. Now imagine that, man. Right, so that's what Jake can actually do when they actually flip and put their heads together and do something proper with proper men standing in the forefront, right? Which all them guys, no one even puts them on TV no more. They no one wants to hear from them no more, right? But yeah, the parents were coming up to the guy going, we didn't even know that this is what was going on in the schools. They told us it was a special school.
And I said that isn't the only case. That's not the only thing that Esau's done under the guys doing something good.
Tuskegee.
That's exactly what's in my mind. You know, telling them one thing but doing another.
Oh, the whole ADHD thing. We're gonna give your child these drugs. It's gonna help them. It's all bullshit. It's all lies. They don't want to help them.
And it's the same people today. The world is the same. They still trust in this devil.
Yep.
You know, they still think, oh, he wouldn't do that.
He's still doing it.
He's been doing it.
That's why he invented
it. Doing it.
ADHD and giving them what's they giving them, ecstasy or whatever, the MDMA. That's what they give them. That's the treatment.
The tranquil, yeah.
It's a mad thing, man.
But that's what I mean. They still believe he wouldn't do these things, or he's always doing these things, man.
It's coming
You know. And this is what happens when you trust him. This is what he's able to get away with.
Oh, so then we got to talk about the thing.
Wait.
We got to talk about the thing, because for years now, I remember when I had my daughter, they were proper trying to pressurize my woman to give my daughter the thing, not the thing that they just made, the other things, yeah. And by then, you know, we was like, nah, we ain't got to do all that. We ain't got to do all that. And then they were proper pressurizing her and putting the fear of God into her, like, oh, if you don't do it, this could happen.
Yeah.
You're gonna die and all this stuff. So even a woman started, you know, women, they're gonna get emotional. They're designed to worry about things like that. So then she said, look, come down and talk to the nurse with me and all that. So I went down with her, spoke to the nurse, and the nurse started talking about this herd immunity. She was repeating this herd immunity stuff, and I was like, well, if herd immunity exists, then how would my daughter put the other children at risk? Because if they've all had their thing,
Their shots.
then surely they're protected now. So how could she affect them? Now, what did they come out with the other day? Oh, herd immunity is just a theory. This man is the devil. This man is the devil. And now they're trying to convince so-called black people to take the thing, and it ain't working because Jacob waking up to the fact you can't trust this man. Oh yeah, you know, you so-called, you know, black people, you're the most likely to die. You've been the most likely to die for years.
But until Esau officially says it on the news program or TV or whatever, it's a conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
You know
there you
what I mean?
go.
All these things, Esau would never have done that. Oh, you're mad. Later on,
Yeah, then it comes out.
and it comes out, and then conveniently you forget about other people that were talking about that. You know, it's the same thing. You go through the same fucking process over and over again. You're not waking up to the fact what
Don't
he's doing.
trust him.
You know.
Bill Gates and that, allow him. Go on, never trust thine enemy, man. That's what it is. So that was an example from the UK where they trusted. Really, coming to the UK in the first place was trusting him, because they were begging Jake to come during the Windrush. The Benjamites that came to the UK during the Windrush, they didn't come over here as refugees. These were educated and middle class, because it weren't the poor man. Nowadays, you get, you know, them man there that trying to get the green card and they're poor as fuck and they're trying to make it into the UK. But going back then, if you look at the images from the Windrush of them coming off them boats, man, them Jakes were flipping looking
Sharper.
Sharper, you know.
Sharper.
They were looking sharper.
Yep.
Yeah, because they didn't represent the poor, and a lot of the children that was sent up, their parents had money. That's why they sent them to the UK. And the original plan was the British needed help after they needed the help after World War II to rebuild Britain.
Yep.
So they begged Jake in the West Indies to come to Britain, and they promised them jobs and they promised them the education. So they were like, we're gonna get the jobs, we're gonna get the education, and then come back. That was the original thing. Go there, we're gonna go, and then come back to the West Indies. But when they got to the to England, they fucked them over. They used them for certain jobs, but they didn't want to give them certain jobs. Like at first, they never wanted no Jake to work on the underground in the trains.
No.
Because the devils didn't want to see Jake. They didn't want to actually see Jake
Background
working.
operation
They wanted to
only.
do background shit. They didn't want. So I believe Liverpool Street for the longest while, it's either Liverpool Street or King's Cross. There wasn't a so-called black man working at that station until recently, because they never wanted them rich Edomites that were coming into London didn't like the idea of buying a ticket from a so-called black man or nothing. They didn't want to deal with that.
Well, it's a position of authority, innit? Power.
Yeah.
They gotta go to him.
They got to go to him.
Yep.
Yeah. So the racism and the hell that they caught, they wouldn't provide them with places to stay. A lot of them were living in the underground, in, you know, the tunnels with the trains. I don't know if you knew that. They were.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. They had to live. You know, like, because a lot of them old tunnels were bomb shelters.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Right. So when they first came over, because the Edomites wouldn't rent nowhere for them to live, a lot of them with their whole family had to live in them old train bomb shelters that's all dirty and wet, man. Look, man, these devils have done a lot of shit, man, and they lied. And then so they pulled the rug from underneath Jake here, took away their jobs, and that's why Jake were rioting. The Brixton riots and all that was because they'd come to the England expecting to get jobs and education, which is what they promised them, and in the end they used them for what they could use them for, and then just dashed them to the side. And then they had no jobs, so they were rioting and they were getting oppressed in the streets. The police would just stop so-called black men and for anything, and then say, oh, you stole something, didn't you? I just saw you. You just stole something from that woman's purse. And then if man tried to act any kind of way, they'll beat him up and put him in jail. This is what was happening. So you might, like, some of you brothers might be from America. You might think, listen, man, even these over here in the UK, these Edomites were doing the same things, oppressing Jake, lying to Jake, promising Jake, oh yeah, this, that, and the other, and then look how it turned out.
But even fast forwarding to today, we're trying to deport them all.
And now they're trying to deport all the Windrush lot, and then try to cover it up. You know, because they don't want to pay them the pension money. You know, after the so-called black woman has been saved the NHS. All of us, if you ain't got auntie that's in the NHS, I don't know where you're from. You must be from Somalia. If you're so-called West Indians and you ain't got 2 or 3 aunties, my grandmother worked for the NHS as a nurse, and my auntie worked in the NHS as a nurse.
Yeah, my grandma. Aunties.
Yeah? Yeah?
Mad.
It's the truth. Hey, Ahab, ask the brother Ahab's on the comment board. He'll tell you.
Yeah,
Shalom, brother. He'll tell you, man, about all that Jake's been through over here in the UK. You know?
Ecclesiasticus 12:10 again. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron lasteth, so is his wickedness.
Right. This man never changed. He never turned a corner. We always talk about when they so-called ended chattel slavery. Well, they actually carried it on the black market for the longest while, and over here, because the Britain like to sing their praises. Hail Britannia, all that shit, and they like to say, well, we outlawed slavery, you know, and they use that to mean that they're not racist, which is bullshit. They're fucking racist. They're devils. But what happened was, the mechanism of transferring slaves over to the New World became less and less profitable, because why would you buy a slave from Africa that you got to break when you can just breed them? So what started happening was, over in the West Indies and over in Americas, they were breeding. They had breeding farms where they were breeding slaves. So it makes more sense to get a slave that's bred in the America than to keep buying them from where you get these mandingos coming over hella rebellious, like, you know, because they've known freedom, right? So what happened was, it started getting to a point where the money wasn't there. So what they did was they outlawed it. They tried to basically cut the supply, for the same reason why they outlawed cocaine and crack. It allows you to make more money on the black market. Now all these top Edomites were still running the produce from slavery, but it was hard to prove. Like, they would have the chains, they would have all the produce, but it was hard to say. So a lot of them were just getting away with it in the courts for a long time, about 40-60 years. So they were still making money on the black market, selling to the Portuguese and so forth, you know. By the end of the day, what did they bring in after that? They bring in cheap wages. So they kept the same slaves and was giving them next to nothing. So they're still slaves, working on the plantations in Jamaica, and they compensated the slave owners. Why would you compensate the slave owners and not the slaves? You know that no man can't operate without capital. Yeah. If you free a slave and you don't give him nothing,
no, he's got nothing. Then
what is he gonna do? He's gonna have to come back to you. And the same thing happened in Brazil when they ended slavery. All them guys that were working on the plantation for free had to end up working on the same plantations just for cheap wages, because where were they gonna go?
They took us from the coast. We had more back there, villages and all kinds, you know. But here, you know, in America and the UK, they have shit.
Didn't have shit. So that's why the children of the favelas are the children of the slaves. It's not a coincidence. So he hasn't changed. It's the same system, the same corporate enslavement system that's continuing on. Sharecropping, another system of oppression that he set up to put Jake into debt. So he always finds a way to get one over. We know this, and it's no different to today.
Quick preset, 1 second.
Yep. Prison system. They showed that documentary, The 13th. And what have they done about that, by the way? How have they changed the American judicial system since that documentary come out? They ain't changed a damn thing. And your boy Biden is the one that came up with the 3 strike rule. Go on up.
This is Jeremiah 13 and 23.
That's what I was going to get here. Go. Yeah.
Can the Ethiopia change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil.
Right, these devils are accustomed to skullduggery.
It's what they're made for.
That's what they're made for. That's what they do. They come up with schemes. They come up with mischief. That's what these devils do. They come up with ways to oppress. And they'll tweak it. They never do the same thing for too long. Once you clock onto one thing, they say about scammers, right? There's always a new scam, because once a scam gets old, you come up with a new scam that people can't clock. So you keep it moving.
Yep.
That's what Esau does. Once one scam gets found out, then he'll change the name or change, something about it and keep running it under a different name.
Yep.
That's how Esau, like them, them Elamites do that. Them
Change
fuckers.
the
They change it, close it down and set it back
business
up.
account now. It's doing the same shit.
That's what Esau do. He just change up the game.
Closed. They don't exist no more.
14th Amendment slaves. Just change it up, man.
Yep.
Oh, we can. You're not niggas no more. You're thugs. Oh, it's the same shit though. It's the derogatory term.
Yep. Quick precept. Micah 2 verse 1 says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity." Like I said, this is Esau's purpose. He's not here to do good. He's here to do wicked. That's why he's called the wicked. So they're always devising iniquity, always, constantly, right? And work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it. So as soon as, man, that is the first thing on their mind.
Yeah. Like the IMF, the World Bank. You go do your research about what they did to Jamaica with Siaga and Manley and that whole situation. Jamaica was doing good, and then they totally destroyed Jamaica, man. And that's why Jamaica is in the condition that it is today, because of what the IMF, the World Bank, and the CIA did.
Yep.
They purposely destroyed Jamaica. That's why mans are trying to get a green card. People don't get a green card to leave somewhere. The reason them man went on the Windrush over to the UK was because they saw an opportunity. They weren't running from Jamaica. They weren't running from Jamaica. They were fine.
Well, they said they were intending to go back.
They were intending to go back, but you see, nowadays people actually trying to get out.
Leave forever.
Yeah, to get. Why is that? Because it was destroyed. Why was it destroyed? Because of Esau and his mischief.
Yep.
He purposely did that. He brought in the guns and paid off the gangs and all that sectarian violence. Esau did that to destabilize them.
Out the politicians and.
Yeah, Siaga, man. That demon. That's how it works, man. Grenada, he did the same thing. So Esau's always scheming on how he could break you down, and he's coming up with these plans, and you Jake, are so simple, you don't see it, man.
We'll just look at, more recently even, Ecuador, Colombia, with Chavez.
Yeah.
After they were looking to get him out for time, but then when he passed away now, the heat went on his successor, which Chavez chose himself, because he thought, he's gonna continue the what I started kind of thing. But then America put the heat on, man. Set up
Obama lookalike, isn't it?
I can't remember his name now, man. But they were putting the heat on, man, and now that's a broken place.
Yep.
It's a hella broken place because of the pressure that Esau was
that
putting
mischief,
on them.
man. That's what he does. He has methods that he puts into place. Like we always talk about feminism, black feminism, gangster culture. These were all weapons that Esau thought of. It wasn't something that just happened naturally. This is something that he thought about and enacted, as the scriptures say, because it was in the power of his hand. He had the money, right? He has the psychological research, because Esau knows how your mind works, man. Esau is a devil. Why do you think social media is designed to get women addicted? You didn't know that? gaming is designed to addict men, right? Because men are designed to want to achieve objectives and to build. That's why them games are so fucking addictive. It's true. The gaming, there's a lot of men that have fucking dedicated their lives to gaming, because as a man, Esau's already worked out what your psychology is. I ain't gonna lie to you, I fucking love it. But it's fucking addictive. Championship manager, I'm not gonna sit here and be a hypocrite. I've lost fucking months of my life to championship manager. Championship manager, any game where you can get a character and achieve something and build it. Man, listen, you can play that for hours, man. Oh, I got a new sword. I got upgrade.
They say art imitates life or something like that. So,
Yeah.
you know, you pick yourself to be that person because you're not doing it in real life.
Yeah,
So
you should be doing it in real life. That's your
You're not
manly
there.
nature.
Yeah.
But the game is addicting you, because every time you get that upgrade, you get that dopamine, that same dopamine boost you'd get as a man in real life that has achieved something, that you built something or you've done something, you got a qualification. They've took that natural, you know, thing that a man has and shifted it to games. So if you're not careful, it's very easy to get addicted to that. And then you got a whole bunch of men playing them RPG role-playing games, and they put all their money into it. And I'm a level 5085
That's them
legend.
now.
Yeah, that's them.
That's who I am right there.
But guess what? The same way that gaming is designed by Esau Edom to captivate
Traps.
men,
Yeah, traps.
social media with the likes was designed because women seek validation. That's what gives them a dopamine hit. So when you get a like, men don't really care about that. No man, there ain't no man out there that cares about likes, but women do, because they're designed that way. They're designed to care about validation.
Only if it makes us money, innit?
Yeah. So that's why women are addicted. And then he can use social media then to control women and to make money out of them through the makeup artists and the makeup companies. It was designed that way. It wasn't an accident. They knew you got to put the likes in. And then you had another guy where I was talking about, Kwame said something interesting about Fortnite, that Fortnite doesn't have a pause button. You can't pause it. It's all done because they study. The scripture says they do a diligent search in Psalm 64. Let's get that real quick. Esau Edom is very serpent like.
Well, the
scripture says the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. So these devils actually sit there and they research how your mind works, the flesh, how the flesh operates, right? And then they use it against you. Like the reason why McDonald's is red and yellow, because they found out that those colors make you hungry. It's not a fucking mistake. But you see, the average person walking up and down the street doesn't realize that there was thought that went behind doing all that.
Quick one. It's Psalm 60. What was it? Yeah, just want to grab this quickly.
Yeah.
Psalm 64, verse 6, right? It says they search out iniquities. They study this, man. They put a lot of time and effort into this, right? It says they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep.
That's right.
They proper dive into psychologies of humans and all, you know, do all kinds of things, man. They know how to manipulate.
They got schools of psychology.
Yep.
Do you Jakes have schools of psychology? No, you don't. He does.
Man, I be referencing Sigmund Freud and all them guys.
Yeah.
You know.
What were they doing? They were working out how to use your own mind against you.
Yep.
And that's what they do every day with the media. And you don't even know it. You think it's an accident. Nah, it's all pre-planned. And they know exactly how you're going to react because it's natural.
And they call that social engineering.
So exactly, social engineering. So that's that mischief. And you think he hasn't used these tools and methods against our people? He does it every day.
Well, he also uses everything at his disposal, man. You know.
He does it every day. They know how to get to the men. They know how to get to the women. No, they know one of the main ways to get to the men is through the woman.
Yep.
You put a fine-ass woman next to a car. Guy don't care. Don't care about the
MPG.
technicalities.
The MPG on the
He
car.
associates the car now with women, and then now he wants the car.
Yeah.
You ain't worrying about the horsepower and all that anymore. He's buying. It could be a shit car. They know. It's all.
Because they're thinking, you know, girls come with the car kind of thing. So
They
I'm
say
gonna go
sex
up in this
sells.
thing now, yeah, and now I'm gonna get girls like this in my
That's
car.
what it is. Sex sells. Why does it sell? Because your mind automatically your mind can put two things together.
I'll be like, you sitting there with the car.
So when you want to sell something, that's not good, all you need to do is put something that people associate with being good next to it, and they put it together. Boom. That's what these devils learn up in these marketing.
But
yeah, but it works.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. It's Psalms 10 and from 7. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity.
That's it. Mischief and vanity. It's mischief to sit there and manipulate people to do something which is against their own interests. Just like this whole Max situation. They're sitting there and manipulating people to kill themselves. That's wicked. Did you still have that scripture in Micah? Yeah. That's how these devils do. That's how they operate, man. They're very good at it. They're very good at it, man. But we know the scripture says we are not ignorant to the devices of the devil, man. So we come out and we expose him, expose what he's doing in the among our people, right? Even with this thing with that Black Lives BLM girl that got shot in the head, they're using that now to legitimize BLM. That's what they're doing. You think we're stupid? Whenever somebody dies, it makes people emotional. And when people are in an emotional state, they stop thinking logically. You know, a bunch of killed children get shot, gun control. That's how they roll. They know that you're not going to think logically. Because it's like, then they'll be like, when the guy stands up and said, but actually, good people can have guns. So you don't want to protect the children?
Yeah.
It's like,
and this fucking vocab has done the same fucking thing in the recent fucking videos, man. He completely sidestepped the question and went to talk about
some emotional shit, man.
Because the woman you would usually get triggered.
Yeah, that's it.
Emotional, right? Because you didn't want to answer the fucking question.
Yeah, go straight away.
So that means you want to rape women? Like, it's like, bro, no one even said that, blood. You're being emotional. Let's deal with it logically.
And that's why you're the fucking devil, bro. You're a part of them, bro. You're an Edomite.
It's slick, man. They know what they're doing, man. They know how to manipulate the human mind, man.
Yep.
But they can't manipulate the elect.
That's right.
Especially the men of the elect, because you learn to overcome the flesh, and that's what it means. To overcome the flesh, overcome the dopamine hits. Go on.
So you want the Micah first?
Yeah. Let's get that.
Micah 2:1 says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand.
Right, so they have the power and the wealth and the resources that when they come up with a psychological operation, they can get every media through AP, because most of the news comes down from like 3 major companies.
Yeah.
What's it? Associated Press. I forgot the other 2. You got
Fox, isn't it? One of them?
No, Fox is little level. You got AP, which is Associated Press, and then you got another one that has press in it as well. I forgot the names, but there's like 3 main news sources that usually when you click on a CNN, or it will have AP or one of them guys, right? So they know that all they need to do is disseminate the information through there, and everyone else. Huh? I don't know. I can't remember what the other 2 are, man. But I know there's like 3 of them, and they can do that. The education system, they can put certain things into the curriculum that's gonna affect you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They can control the curriculum. They took homemaking out of the schools. Why did they do that? In the West Indies, the women from my grandmother's era, man, they could do every fucking thing, just like the men. Most of the men from my grandmother's era, they specialize, but they're like jacks of all trades. Like my granddad damn near built his own house. But obviously then you would have people, that may have a more expertise than you. But like my granddad can pretty much do anything. Like they were jacks, so the women were the same. They were they could sew. They were well-rounded. They could sew. They could cook damn near everything. And my mom said, look, when we used to be in school, they used to teach you homemaking. So as a woman, you learned how to sew. You learned how to do these things. Why did they take that out of the school system? Why did they take that out, but then put social studies in there, which is more useful?
A lot of women take social studies as well,
Well, they put fucking
some easy degrees.
What the fuck is social studies, man? But they had homemaking, which was useful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
who uses that?
Cooking class. Cooking never taught you the nutrition behind cooking.
No.
It's a fucking job, but it's all on purpose, man. It's all on purpose. They know exactly what they're doing. It's all designed, man, that way. Right? If you look at the system, there are places in the world. The way I always look at it, yeah, is like there are places in the world that do things better for a reason. Right? Now, if you're a leader, a lot of times what you need to do is, as a leader, even if you own a company, you look at there's something called a benchmark, right? So what you'll do is you'll look at another company. If they're being successful at something, you'll look at that company and analyze what is it that they're doing, and then that I can take from what they're doing and bring it over here. But if you notice, a lot of these countries don't do that. Why? Because they want things to be fucked up. Like, for instance, these children here, if you go to Japan, children have respect for their surroundings. Why? Because they make them go to school early and clean the school. And the reason they do that is that gives you a sense of respect for your surroundings. They should do that here. I think that's a brilliant fucking idea. Everyone should go to school early and clean the school. Maybe then you won't be leaving gum everywhere and fucking rubbish everywhere. And you see? But they won't do simple things like that. There's things that you could do that would improve education greatly. They don't care about improving education. You know? It's all wickedness, man. Go on. You got that?
Do you want more?
Yeah.
This is verse 2. It says, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
That's right. Meaning you end up working for him on your own land. And then when you complain, he'd be like, well, you don't work hard enough. Imagine that. My man stole your land, got you working for him on your land, reaping all the profits, and then when you complain, he'll say you're poor because you want to be poor. Yeah, them niggas are poor because they want to be poor. No, that's not exactly how they got to the situation that they're in, my friend. You know?
But basically what they're saying is that you weren't wicked enough.
Yeah.
That's what
You're the ones to blame.
Yeah, you weren't being wicked enough.
So they oppress you. The Native American Indians being oppressed in his own land. We're being oppressed on our own planet by this devil.
See, the worst thing about it, right? They'll say, "Oh, you didn't work hard enough," but like I said, really, you haven't been wicked enough, right? Because when Jake turns to wickedness now, like man wants to sell drugs, now he's got a big Rolex.
Don't like it.
You don't fucking like it. You're a criminal. You're a thug. You all this and that, and then you're all the same.
Yeah, that's what you're doing.
But you're the major criminal on the planet, man. You're the major criminal, man. Double standards, man. That's what that is. Do you want more?
I think that's it.
That's really it. Yeah.
I was gonna get Psalms. You know, in that same Psalms 10, there's a verse in there that say he sitteth in the lurking places. Yeah, let's get that. Going back to these satanic ritual abuse, because these Edomites are out here and they really are kidnapping the children and murdering them and slaughtering them for years. This is not something new. This has been happening ever since slavery. So you can imagine during hardcore slavery, when they had access to children, how many of those children do you think were molested and abused and ritually murdered? Think about it. If they're doing it now, when there's kind of like they try and hide it a bit more. What about when they didn't have to hide it?
Yep.
What about when no one weren't looking at them? They were doing the most, and they recorded it. That guy, one slave owner in Jamaica, he had a journal. That journal has horrific fucking ordeals in there.
One journal,
because they were going mad over there with power.
Imagine how many other journals there is, you know, things that weren't even written down.
They're the original snuff. The original snuff artists, man, snuff filmers.
Yep.
Go on, let's get that one.
Psalms 10 and 8. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, in the secret places does he murder the innocent.
In the secret places does he murder the innocent. Now, by innocent, it's talking about people that ain't done nothing to him. Right, they do that. The kidnap the children. So what happened with them Native American children? They got killed in secret. He even said that they didn't. Upon. They were preyed upon and killed in secret. And what he said, undocumented deaths. Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of that going on.
Just disappeared.
And that still happens to this very day. But they've got it down to a fine art. And that's why child trafficking is the most lucrative business on the earth. It's more lucrative than drugs. A lot of them gangs, that's where they elevate. If you want to really be a top mafia and you want to make the big money, you provide the elite with children. Oh, you gonna make do you know how much one child costs? You think it's 10p? You think it costs 10p for one child? When you trafficking women, you get paid a lot of money trafficking women. But trafficking children, you making a whole bunch of money.
A bunch of pesos, man.
A whole bunch of money trafficking children. And where do you think most children are trafficked to? Europe, and they traffic from the third world, from the South America and these places, Haiti, and they're trafficked into America and Europe. These are facts.
And you know this is true, man, because what these rich white people go do when they go to these poor
they're going
countries,
over and
boys and girls,
getting them little boys and girls. And then guess what? Ask yourself this: who do you know could afford to buy a child? Man ain't trying. Listen.
Yep.
Man are trying to sell children. Man are trying to put their children up on eBay out here. These children cost a lot. Who do you know? Who do you think are buying children? You think it's some dude in the ghetto that's buying children? It's these Edomites, because they got the money and they got the ranches and all these places where they could build little facilities where they could hide these children away.
Yep.
Epstein's got their own island and his own mansions. That's who's buying up these children.
Yep.
And most of those children are Israelites. Abusing them. Just like in the foster care and the social services, most of the children that are in foster homes and that are getting abused are Israelites. Jerry Sandusky, what did he do? He set up a charity for black and underprivileged black and Hispanic boys.
Oh, but on the outside, that looks like he's doing something good, right?
Oh yeah, he was doing something good, all right.
Fronts, man.
He was getting goodly up inside that boy's ass in the shower, man. Fucking devils, man.
That's Esau in jail, man. Everything he's is a front.
It's a fraud. Yeah, the children's charities is a front. Because they can get access to the children. Yeah, Jimmy Savile was
Same thing.
Yeah, Jimmy Savile. That's what's going on out here, man.
Protected by status and all this kind of shit, you know.
There's a child retreat. Yeah, so they can get the children that nobody. Oh, don't worry, we're taking care of them, and then they disappear here and there. Boys' home, the whole boys' home thing.
Which one?
There was that one, Boys Town. They called it Boys Town.
Okay.
And the one guy, he talked about being taken out to the woods to a place that had massive tall trees. So that had to be Bohemian Grove. And he was talking about how they made him sodomize a younger boy. And then all that wickedness. And he was on drugs and all. He said, because that's how they keep you quiet. They drug you up and give you cocaine and all that kind of stuff. And he talked about being taken to the White House. They would take these boys, and some of them were girls, to the White House.
Well, you remember that? Remember the film Taken, innit? Right? Yeah, his daughter was taken, right? So when he was looking for her, he had to go up in a drug den because all these women were drugged up.
Yeah, they drug them up.
Because once they're in that situation, they cut their
they're fucked.
Through, innit? You know, but she weren't there. But when the other girls were there, she was messed up. You know, but she's now hooked. She's in that world now, and she ain't.
You ain't going nowhere. They got your passport. That's it. Yeah, they cut your passport up.
But that's what they be doing, though.
Yeah.
That's why they're giving the drugs and shit. Because now no one's gonna believe you in because you're a fucking mad crack addict. You know, like we were saying earlier, man. You don't have reliable information.
Yeah.
No one believes you.
You can't stand up in court and say Your Honor, because the prosecution is gonna be like, well, look at your rap sheet. You've been arrested 5 times. You've been in prison. You're gonna believe him?
You can't live in normal society.
This man is an upstanding citizen.
but these people are too fucked now. They can't get a job. They can't just live in normal society no more. So they kind of go back to the handlers, man.
If they survive as well.
If they survive, because I know some of them are older men now. But they're still in those circles, man. They still get called up from now and again, and you know what I mean? You know, in that dark world, man.
Yeah, you could go check that out, the Boys Town documentary, and it was then somebody from the BBC bought it and they shelved it, because in that documentary it brought out how in Boys Town they were pimping out, you know, the boys and the girls to different various patrons, rich patrons, including in the White House. You know, they got exposed. Look, man, this is what's going on. And Esau's been doing that since he touched down in the shores of America.
And this is the real world. This ain't fantasy, man. This is the real world, the world that people like to ignore. Because it goes on in the dark.
People like Vocab.
Yeah.
But you want to talk about raping,
he's just blind anyway.
raping young girls and all that, man. Listen, ain't nobody. Your people are the ones running around raping women,
You're the creepy Joes.
I don't see you got nothing to say about that. Creepy Joe. Oh,
Creepy Joes of the world.
man.
Creepy Joe.
Even Bill Gates, he was on
Cringy Joe.
Bill Gates was on Epstein's plane.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's one of them. We know
There we
anyway.
go. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Go on up.
Cringy Joe.
Sniffing, the sniffer.
His eyes are privily set against the poor.
His eyes are privily set. I mean, this man
Prey.
sees the people as prey.
Yeah.
But you see, when you go and you if you listen to the news, you think that they care about us. Nah, they're looking at you as a mark. You're a mark. You're there to be made money out of.
Right.
Make money out of you and kill you.
Well, that's why how many Jake come out of poverty, become a singer, become a footballer, all these types of things, because he knows the talent's all here,
Yeah, and he
knows you're impoverished, and you know you're desperate to get out of there.
Yep.
So he offers you something you can't refuse. Majority of you don't refuse, and you end up wherever you end up in it.
And then then on top of that, you get that do the right thing money. So Dwayne Wade, he's pushing the agenda hard. Yeah, him and that demonic fucking Gabrielle fucking, no, you don't even call her Gabrielle, man. Fagriel. Yeah, Union, right? That demonic beast, that animal that should really be done away with. Yeah, because he's pushing the transgender line, which is part of their agenda to destroy our people. He gets his own game show. He's got his own game show on TV now called The Cube. So you see how it works? He got that do the right thing money. You forward the agenda like Oprah.
Be down with the agenda money.
Yeah, man, it's wicked. They know exactly what they're doing, man.
Yep.
He lies in wait secretly as a lion in his den.
There's a lion in his den. So that's what we're trying to tell our people, man, that this man Esau Edom, he's not your friend. He's your enemy. He's your mortal enemy according to the scriptures, man. Everything he does is against you. That's why you are in the condition you is, because the Lord, yeah, we got our own problems, but even a lot of the problems between our people, he instigates that. He instigates the strife and that, the gang violence. You think Esau don't have a hand in that, man? You think listen, if Esau wants to start a gang war, it ain't hard. You just kill a bunch of the one side and make it look like it was the other side that did it.
Yep.
And that's it. You can start a gang war just based upon that. It ain't hard if Esau want to manipulate Jake to start killing each other.
That's what he does.
That's what he does.
Divide and conquer.
And then start making sure you can provide each one of them weapons through a third party, Some next Australian guy comes in and starts, yeah, mate, all right, mate, good day, mate, kangaroo, mate.
Kano, innit?
Yeah, Kano. All right, mate, kangaroo, mate. Yeah, want a kangaroo? Yeah, them ones there.
Cold.
And start giving man AKs and all this stuff. So
Yeah,
Esau
yeah.
do all that, right? So Esau's got his hand in all them different agendas to break our people down. And how many different ways are you going to see it before you realize that?
And we went through the inward heart is deep, man. He's got so many facets to this, man. It's actually mind-boggling. Man's got a Googleplex of multi ways to destroy our people and to manipulate everything. But because you think like it can't be done, you underestimate the enemy, man. You severely underestimate the enemy.
The condition that you Jakes are in at this moment is the way Esau wants you to be.
Yep.
That's how he wants you to be. He ain't trying to make you any better. He's not trying to improve your life. No, the way you are is good for him. You're broke up, you're broken families, you can't do nothing constructive unless you're working for him.
And
you're poor.
In a so-called white Jesus.
And you're hoping in him to save you. That's exactly where he wants you to be.
That's a rock and a hard fucking place, man.
What he don't want you to do is learn the truth of these scriptures and start building and edifying yourself and networking with other men to the same cause and the same mission and doing something constructive. Esau don't like that. That's why vocab hurt.
Just a quick correlation, man, because bro he mentioned he out there as a lion for prey, right? Well, this is how you know he's the devil. Like that Esau is the devil that we speaks about, right? It's 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. It says, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, right, who is Esau, because he's the one doing all these schemes and all these plots, right? as a roaring lion walking about seeking whom he may devour. You know, and that's why Satan is working through these Edomites, man.
Yeah, a lot of the curses manifest themselves as with Esau as the agent. Like a lot of the curses, the Lord Esau is like the physical like agent, man, that comes and makes sure that them curses get put down. You know, Esau's kind of behind it. You know, his hand is always there. That's why part of us being removed from the curses is removing him and his power that he has over our people.
That's right.
You know, because a lot of it goes back to him and all the skullduggery that he does behind closed doors and and acts like it's an accident. The prison industrial complex, it wasn't an accident. He did that on purpose. He wanted a large population of young, healthy black males to be in jail and away from their families and to become further broken and then start breaking other people because they're fucked up in prison. They let them out of prison for however long. They do more criminality, suck more people into the criminal world, and then they bring them back in. So it just becomes like this revolving door.
It's a snowball effect.
The snowball effect. Them prisons ain't rehabilitating nobody. You know what I mean? And then you were putting in people in prison for selling weed, and now you're selling weed. So how bad was it?
Man come out of prison poorer than he was when he was poor, trying to do a thing, like, you know. Now he's losing his mind even more because he can't even get a job.
Imagine a man that got put in prison for 10-15 years for selling weed, and he comes out of prison now and walks down the street and sees a fucking weed cafe. I'm like, what the fuck is this? They just put me in jail for 15 years for what these man just opened up. What do they call him? Dispensary. They opened up a medical marijuana. Motherfucker. You'll be pissed, man. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is going on here? Because it weren't about the weed. It was just about putting you to sit down somewhere. It's all about control, man. They need that prison population to destroy the family, man. That's what Esau is all about, and that program showed it to me. Because when I saw how Jake was in the UK, when we actually used to stick together, there was power there. And then Jake got together. They only owned 2 book publishers, but they made sure that they used them same 2. And the guy actually, imagine that, the guy created a book. It was a Jake, and he said, "Look, man, I need to find a way to educate my people about what Esau's doing, so that everyone knows." See? He was like, everybody needs to be educated, not just me. Everyone needs to know what I know so we could come together. So when you watch the documentary, he was at, listen, this is amazing to me. He was in a party with his wife. He was in a party with his wife dancing, yeah? And he was actually working in one of these schools, these subnormal things. And he was dancing with his wife, you know. They're probably playing some of that reggae, that sweet reggae, right? And then one guy comes up to him in the middle of the party when he's dancing with his wife, and he's like, "Oh, you work at one of them schools that my child is at," like. And the guy starts talking to him like, "Oh, look, I'm not happy about what's going on." A man, an actual man, a father in the house, yeah, approached another man about his child's schooling. And imagine that in this day and age. And the guy's like talking to him, and the guy said, "Look, man," he said, "Yo, him start talking. He telling me about what's going on," and other people overheard, and within 15 minutes the dance popped down. The dance got locked off. Now imagine that. In 15 minutes, the whole fucking party that this is Jake we're talking about.
Party.
They were having a party with music, and the party got locked off, and everyone in the party is talking about this issue. And then they had already come together and said, "Look, this is what we're gonna do." So they already had a plan, and they said, "Look, you're our inside guy." And then so what he did was he wrote a book, which I'm gonna buy the book, explaining exactly what Esau's doing. But they said, "How are we gonna get this book?" So they found these 2 black publishers, and they published the book, and they were going door to door and selling everyone this book, and it became a bestseller back then. And then that's how they all came together and fought against this shit. Why? Because they had family groups back then with men that was strong, and that's what Esau is scared of.
Yep.
That ability to disseminate information and now come up with a logical fucking solution. And that's what we're doing, really. We're disseminating information with a logical solution, which is in the scriptures. You see? Esau don't like that. That's why he had to bring in different things to break up the family and break up the bonds and weaken us. Go on.
This Psalms 17 and 14. Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword, from men which are thy hand, O Yahweh, from men of the world, which have their portion in this life.
That's Esau. He's got his portion in this life, this wicked life, to do nothing but break and destroy our people, which he was set up for that. But that's not going to save him. He's still going to have to pay for all the wickedness that he's done to our people. And it's a lot of wickedness. It's a lot of wickedness that we can't even talk about it all. It's too much. Then we could go into the medical experiment. It's too much.
With the medical apartheid.
Medical apartheid and all this business, man. And now he wants man to take the thing. Yeah, look, give your mom the thing, innit? That's what you need to be doing.
You do it first, innit?
Give your mother the thing. Yeah, that's what you should be doing. Don't worry about me. She can have mine.
Just sorry, just something quickly on what you just mentioned, innit? Because they don't like, you know, so-called black people getting together, man.
Especially so-called black men. They don't like so-called black men getting together with for something constructive.
Yep.
You know?
And I was going to read this from Exodus chapter 1, right? Because it's the same sort of situation, right? Because they fear. Because Esau fears, right? So he's happy to go to drastic measures, man.
Hey, because when Jake is serious, it's a problem. When Jake is fooling around and acting a fool and doing foolishness, it's not a problem.
They do what they do to keep you distracted, you know.
But when you look at I was watching that documentary, I'm like, where are these guys? Because even the way they still had, enough of them are elderly, but even the way they were talking with such elegance and the way they were articulating their point, I'm like, well, these guys should be, you know, I've never seen these guys before dealing with any issues. I'm already seeing some stanky ass fucking boneheaded black woman or some young, you know, 21-year-old idiot talking. Where are these guys? Like, these guys actually did something against Esau and fucked up Esau's plans. Like, why are they not at the forefront of the so-called black community? Why are these men in homes somewhere?
These movements and that, yeah.
Because they don't want them kind of guys that can actually get shit done and that can educate. Nah, just like they don't want the prophets. They want these entertainers. They want these fucking rappers who haven't achieved anything. What have they done except entertain? They've not done a damn thing. But they make sure they inject them as being leaders.
Yep. This is from Exodus chapter 1, it's verse 7, right? And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them. Now there arose up a new king over Egypt which knew not Joseph, and he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
Which we are. If we were to come together, which the Lord don't really want all of Israel to come together, because it would just be too much, wouldn't it? But if we were to come together, all the 12 tribes in unison to achieve one goal, who could stop that? It's impossible. If all the men stood up as men and said, Lord, this is what we're going to do, and they got heads together, okay, this is how we're going to achieve it with logic, and moved on that with manliness, willing to die, no, man, you can't do nothing against that. You'd be fucked. Esau will be fucked. So he's got to keep us divided and messed up and weakened. You know, Jake can't decide on what to eat without killing each other. You know what I mean? Nigga get shot. I said I want chicken, nigga.
What was I saying? Niggas killing himself over fucking
nigga
chicken.
killing himself over foolishness, man.
Fucking McDonald's right.
I swear one time that someone ate the last pork chop or some shit. The nigga killed. He killed his sister or something. I think she ate the last pork chop or some shit. Man, Jake, come on, man. Come on, man. Jake, you got to do better, man. Yeah. But the unity, the unifying point is Yahweh Shai.
That's right. Yeah.
That's what brings us together in one accord. The one mission, one Lord, one faith, and there's strength in that. You know?
It's the strongest unity we can have, man. I say, really, you Jake, that are, you know, getting all together and that, you're just really playing to Esau's hands. That's what he wants. What he don't want is you to turn to the Lord. That's what he don't want. You know, that's why he sets up all this opposition. But you can go rally and do whatever you're doing, man, because they ain't gonna do nothing anyway.
Wait, I didn't
You
see
know?
this. If we set up supplementary schools before, why we not got supplementary schools now? The Chinese
Done away
do.
with, yeah.
The so-called Chinese, man. Why do you think them Chinese do good in school? Remember Jonathan? He used to go to school on the weekend.
Saturday, yeah.
That's why he was so good at maths. Because you need maths is all about time and practice. Right? Why if these so-called Black Lives Matter, they got all this money, why are they not setting up supplementary schools and coding schools and things like that? They're not doing a damn thing. Just protesting and running around acting crazy and smashing windows, man.
Counterproductive.
Emotional feminine spirit, man. No logic. Not even a bit of logic, man. What do we want? When do we want it? What the fuck is you talking about, man?
Yep. And the saga continues. You know what I mean? Verse 10 says, "Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when they fortify any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, so get them up out of the land." Right? So they were getting paranoid, man. Right? But I'm gonna jump down. Actually, I'm reading 2 more verses and then jump down. Right? It says, therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with burdens. And Jake under all kinds of burdens.
Keep you busy.
Yeah.
They want to keep you busy. And if you think that Edom the elites of Esau don't look at you, Jake, and think, yeah, we got to make sure we keep these motherfuckers under control, because we don't want them man to rise up and do what we would do. Mm-hmm. What you think? You think if Esau was in our position, he'd be thinking about anything other than fucking revenge? Listen, this man couldn't take this man. You can't even pinprick this dude. This dude will blow you out off the face of the earth over a pinprick. Trust me. my man got the 9/11 thing. Man launched a war. What was it? 9/11 was what? 2001.
Yeah, one, isn't it?
2001. It's 2021. Afghanistan's still going on. Them man weren't playing. They were like, "No, fuck this, man." Motherfucker did what? Like, you know what I'm saying? And they just went on a mad one. So how do you think Esau would be if we did everything that was done unto us? We did it to him, and he was sitting there. Esau would be thinking about how we gonna slit our throat at night.
Yep.
He won't be on that forgiving shit. Trust me.
Therefore did they set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses, again using us to build their kingdom. It's the same roles we're playing, you know. It says, but the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. Again, that's the same thing that's happening.
Even with the abortion and all that, Jake is still
Imagine
multiplying.
if Esau never set that up.
Oh yeah. We used to have a lot more.
Esau had to set that up, man. Had to set that up. Margaret Sanger had to get that rolling, man, because it would have been a problem for them.
Yeah.
You know?
Because we ain't playing, man. When we can lay down that rod, boy. You know? We ain't playing, blood.
It says, but the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew, and they were grieved because of the children of Israel. Yeah, Esau's grieved, man.
Esau don't like it, man. Esau don't like when they see you, Jake, doing anything that's elevating yourself. They hate it. That's why when you get around Esau, right? Why you think Serena and them are fucking so whited out? Because they felt the pressure. They were in tennis, and that's not for black people. They weren't liked. They just like they didn't want Tiger in golf, because as far as they're concerned, as soon as you let one nigga in,
yep,
then they all gonna come in and they gonna fucking take over.
Yep.
That's what happened in basketball. Originally, basketball was just white people, and then they made the mistake of letting one Jake in, and then now look at the league. Niggas everywhere.
Jack Johnson.
You know what I'm saying? Same with boxing. Anything you let Jake into, after a while, Jake you have to control this guy.
These are meant to be gentleman sports. Jake weren't considered no gentleman, you know. But then when Jake get in, and now they're dominating everything.
Yeah.
And now they're kind of pissed.
Because Jake, all Jake needs is the ambition. Because we're the princes of power. So if we go into a company, there's no reason why we can't own and control that company. But Esau will try and make it look like, oh, you're not smart enough. Listen.
Create glass ceilings and blockades.
He has to do all kind of bullshit. All kind of underhanded tactics, because ultimately we're the best. If we've got the right ambition, we can achieve anything and be good at it too.
Better than.
So they don't like when they see you. They'll rather see you mucking around and acting the fool than being upstanding and structured, because that's scary to them.
Well, going back to the schooling situation with the special schools. That's
That's exactly what they were doing. Yeah,
You know, so you couldn't get up there.
they didn't want Jake getting bare degrees at that time. Now they don't mind a certain amount of you women getting degrees, because a degree ain't really worth much now.
Well, they're gonna make it look like, oh, Esau's changing. You know, oh, he's equal opportunity.
But it's now's the time when a
Don't give a
degree
shit.
ain't worth nothing though.
Nah, ain't.
A degree 50 years ago was guaranteed you're making mad peas. Now
Yeah.
everyone's got a fucking degree. It's like
worth a
supply
lot.
and demand out here, blood. And a
100%.
degree in what? Like degree in sociology. Fuck off.
Wasted.
Women's studies
Wasted
and
3 years.
African studies and shit. Like what the fuck, man? Fuck out of here.
Verse 13. And the Egyptians, okay, you know, these Edomites now, yeah, made the children of Israel serve a rigor. You can't say that didn't happen, right? Did the same thing, doing it now. And they made their lives bitter. Again, Jake's lives is bitter because of what Esau's doing on a daily basis to them, right? This is made their lives bitter with hard bondage in mortar and in brick and in all manner of service in the field. All their service when they made them serve was with rigor, right? Someone jumped down.
Yeah, bare sweating, man. Jacob been working with busting hard sweat for years, man. Busting sweat in the West Indies, in America, in the hot sun, and then these Edomites have the nerve to turn around and say that we're lazy people. That's what the worst thing about the whole thing is. Esau turned around and said that we're lazy when Jake was busting hard sweat. They say West Indians are lazy now. Why did you ask us to come over during the Windrush to work if you know that we were lazy people? Why did you ask us to come and join your World War II if we were so lazy and indisciplined? And it's bullshit. Jacob been working hard in this man's society.
And everybody knows, you know, the pinnacle of Esau's, you know, his wealth and that is to do nothing. He don't, you know.
Yeah, Edomites don't work
sit
hard.
on the arse. That's all that Esau really wants to do. Sit on his ass. That's why they don't want to do the field work. That's why when they had the shortage of workers for picking and fruit and shit, they didn't last very long. Or they didn't go.
You sort of don't want to do that.
Even
man.
though man unemployed, this man didn't want to do that. Man wants his office job. That's what he wants to do.
And he don't even. And when he takes them office jobs, they be blagging it.
Yeah.
They be blagging it all the way, blagging it, man. These Edomites, man, they are the most fucking protected species in the workplace. A lot of these Edomites in the workplace ain't doing a damn thing. A lot of them have got management roles that actually are not doing anything. There's really no need for them to even be there. It's a friend thing.
You can work without them.
They could literally, the business will work just fine. A lot of your supervisors and your managers are doing fuck all. These Edomites are doing. I've seen it.
That
Where
is
these
why when they
Edomites
cut
are
the
doing
jobs
nothing.
to go, the ones that weren't really necessary.
Yeah,
They need to keep the workers, the proper workers. They need to keep them because obviously.
yeah, get rid of them, and that's gonna start happening. Like in all these banks, a lot of the middle management are getting fired and getting taken out of there. And who's in all these middle management positions? These Edomites, man. These Edomites do not work hard. They're not hard workers. They get jobs by blagging. They lie on their CV. Yeah, all the time. Tell me I'm lying. These Edomites, you might see an Edomite with a 300,000 a year job. He fucking lied. He lied on the CV. He didn't have none of them qualifications. Bragged it. Then he gets into the job, and then he's got people underneath him that's actually doing the job, and he would just call meetings like, Jeremy, come into my office, and just talk shit. Yeah. Meanwhile, Jeremy, the Jake, is the one actually doing shit and doing the work. He's
Sweating
just
under
there.
pressure 'cause-
He's coming in late to the office, having a long ass lunch break on the company card, and going home early, and getting the bonus.
Yeah, for your work.
From your, I'm telling you, that's how. Listen, I'm telling you, man. A lot of these Edomites got these jobs in the job market, and they ain't doing a damn thing. It's a touch. They're blagging it. They're con artists, man.
Yeah, but that's it. Esau is the ultimate con artist, bro. That's what
Meanwhile, you be there in the company working hard, and every time you're applying for this promotion, you can't get it.
Yeah.
We've seen it. I know you've seen it already. How many of them man where we work, them Edomites are getting them jobs out of the way, like behind the scenes. They'll give us the operational. Jake will get the operational jobs are actually working, but these man will get them cushy little,
Overseer job.
yeah, them overseer jobs when they're not really doing nothing.
Yep. That's a strange role for Jake to be at, man. That's why they know that there's certain you can get a certain way up in a company, but there's a certain point where you can't get past that.
And then they'll
glass
cover up for their incompetence. I'll tell you, in the workplace, when Jake makes a mistake, they'll highlight it. When these Edomites make a mistake, they'll sweep it under the rug and cover it up because they're trying to save their pension and all this kind. I've seen it, man. I've worked with managers in my company that I didn't really want to be on job when he's on job, because he'd get me killed because his incompetence is crazy. Yeah, his incompetence is crazy, and then he ended up nearly getting himself killed, and then that's how he got fired. He was at
The liability.
you know where he was? He was at the fucking. He was stopping the train, right? Fucking to pick up a mobile phone, right? He sent the guy with the flashlight to stop the train to the head wall. And then the controller was watching, innit? And then obviously, yeah, he didn't even speak to the controller properly, and then he put the guy on the fucking head wall. So if he'd went down on the fucking track, he'd be dead. Because he put the guy after the mobile. You're supposed to put him before the mobile so the train stops before the item. I was like, you see this guy.
He deserves to go in it.
But they were covering up for him for years. He was failing a lot of the tests that we do, the reviews. He was failing them, but the area manager was covering it up, and he didn't deserve the job. It's a fucking joke. And he was on fucking 60 grand a year. 60 grand a fucking year, sitting there doing fuck all. He used to come in on night shift and go to sleep, and then wake up in the morning when the day shift comes and then go home. It's a fucking joke, man. And a lot of them Edomites were living like that out in the sticks too, doing fuck all. That's why when they made them come in on central London, that's when they had to start doing fucking work, and they never liked it. Fucking devils, man. We know, man, if you're in a workplace and you see certain things, you know how these Edomites are, man. They're not hard workers. They're blaggers, man.
Yeah. Verse.
Oh, the brother said Dominic Cummings said he didn't have much knowledge for the position he was in, and he was advised to Prime Minister.
Excuses.
It's a fucking joke, man. Like Dominic Raab. What?
Oh yeah.
What the fuck?
Negotiate for Brexit.
He's a fuck, man. Like, how is Dominic Raab? How has this guy got a job? He's a dickhead. He's an absolute dickhead, man. Anyone can look at that guy and see Dominic. Hey, you brothers that don't know, look up Dominic Raab. Dominic Raab. That guy is what I'm talking about. That's an Edomite who's gone to a private school and blagged his way through every job interview. Because how did he fail at the Brexit negotiations and then get a job in the cabinet straight after? So it's like you don't even need to achieve anything. You can fail. You're getting promoted from failure. Who does that? It's a joke, man. Dominic fucking Raab, that giant penis, man. It's a giant dick. That's what he is, man. Total pleb. But this is how it happens, man. And Dominic Cummings and all that. Now they're all reservoir dogs.
Yeah.
He saw, Boris Johnson. What did he do as London mayor? He fucked London up. Building bridges, spending hundreds of millions on bridges that weren't even complete. How do you go from failing as London mayor to becoming the prime minister of the country? How does that fucking work?
Is it foreign secretary first, isn't it?
And he wasn't even a good foreign secretary. He disrespected most of. Oh my days, man. Yeah, it's getting promoted or failure.
Yeah.
What? How does that work? Normal people don't live like that. If you do a job, you don't do your job properly, you get fired, and then you don't get another one.
You get bad record.
You get a bad record, man. They're like, nah, this guy's shit. Nah, these men just go to a higher paid job.
Always.
Fuck it.
Tony Blair wouldn't, guys. Man's getting what?
You're getting the big dough. Mad thing. Dominic Raab, what a cunt. But anyway, go on.
Verse 15, right? And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of the one was Sephirah, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, when you do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. but if it be a daughter, then she shall live. Going back to the strong male thing we was talking about, when they got together, right? They don't like seeing it. They don't like seeing men get together and actually do something, you know.
Yeah, because
so Esau's happy to, you know, get rid of them.
The power of the nation is with the men. The men are the dominant force within any nation. So if you have to subjugate the men to subjugate the nation. That's why they're trying to effeminize Jake.
Well, this is the thing, like, you know, all these women, all these, you know, so-called black women, and they don't give a shit about them because they always get turned out. They'll just, you know, they'll just buy into whatever Esau's selling, you know, because that's what women do. They're softer, you know, they're easy beguiled, right?
They're inferior.
Yeah.
Just say what it is. They're inferior. They're the inferior part of the team. They're like when the man, you have to, when your first team, when your starting squad is fucking injured and you know you're not even a bench, you got to bring in the fucking under 21s and shit, the reserve team. You know you're getting pammed at the new camp. You know what I'm saying? Like, you already know. Man's like, oh fuck, man. You know, everybody's Pogba's out. Every man's out. Like, who we got? Oh, we got to bring in the reserve team. That's what women are. They're the fucking reserve team, blood. You don't send them in. You're gonna get pammed up, lad. Man's are gonna be laughing. Like, you got man on like Ronaldinho and that sitting on the other side. Like, what, these man? Nah, they're gonna get hurt.
And that's why it's important for Esau to control the male population, man.
That's right.
You know, and like brother said earlier, man, a lot of it's through the women. You know, because all these women live, you know, the men are bowing down to these women and doing what the fuck they want to do, man. You know, being weak.
That's what it is. Women make women. If you put women, is weak. It's weakness, man. That's why women don't belong in the army. Because you put women in the army, that's a lot of weak links. You know, there's a lot of weak links, man. You might as well put me on the bench for the Lakers, blood. Trust me, it ain't gonna work out. You know what I mean? You're gonna have problems, mate. I have to just be running through me, blood, dunking on me for fun, blood. I ain't on that level. You gotta have strong mans on your team. You know what I mean? Can't put man in the wheelchair. You know what I mean? Anyway.
And the front line.
Hey, another one. I tell you, brothers, another thing, man. We see it, man. I remember when I was working at Primark, right? And I was there for fucking, I think 3 months at the time, and they brought out supervisor. And on the application for supervisor, it says you must be in the company for 4 months. Now there was another cat that started 2 months after me, a white boy named Lee. He moved from a fucking tattoo. He was a tattoo apprentice, and he come right now. Imagine you had bare Jakes, bare legendary Jakes that's been working there for 2-3 years. They know their department like the back. In fact, they've worked every department, so they know it like the back of their hand. We call them legends. Man like Jeffrey, man like Joe, all them Donnies, yeah. These men applied, right? All of a sudden they're like, oh nah, Jeff, you can't get it because you've had, on the sheet it says you couldn't have more than 2 sick absences. Okay. Next man, oh no, you've had punctuality. No, you can't get it. Lee gets it. I said, hold on, wait. All these men here, more experienced than him. He's been in the company for fucking 2 months. You've given him the supervisor role with this other Jakes that's been here for 2-3 years that know the role inside out, and they can't get it because of punctuality, apparently. But he could get it when on the document it said you can't get it for being there for less than 4 months.
He's not even proven because
he's not proven.
He ain't been there long enough. Because
it's all fucking set up, man. It's a joke, yeah. And guess what? He became our supervisor, and he was asking us how to do the job. He was asking us. No one respected him because he didn't know the job. He's been working there less than us, and he's fucking supervisor. And after I left, get the jokes. After I left, yeah, about a year later, I spoke to someone at work. They said, "Oh yeah, you know Lee's a senior department manager now." I said, "Fuck me, man. Fuck me." And that shows you these Edomites, man. You gotta keep an eye on these devils. It's something going on there. How has he become senior department manager?
Shit. Fucking hell.
In pretty much less than a year. When you got Jakes that's been there, that's been doing it. Oh man, I couldn't believe it, man. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what kind? This man must be sucking noshing man's off or something, man. But that's how it is. Esau will make an excuse to put you down, and then the Edomite will just slide through.
Yep.
Go on.
It's the book of Job 21:7. Wherefore do the wicked live, become hoard, yea, are might in power. They are seen.
Yeah, look at that, brother. Sorry, the brother said, my cousin is a nurse. She was training fresh out of college students. Then they get a position above her. How does it work now? Someone explain it.
Fucking ridiculous, man.
And that's why one Jake told me what they do is they make sure they promote Edomites younger too. Because when you promote someone that's when they're younger, they earn more over the course of their life.
Yep.
So they have a greater legacy. They'll promote you, when you've been in the
25.
company for 25 years, you'll get like the manager position. Like,
Yeah.
But then you'll notice that there'll be you'll be working with young Edomites as managers. So what the huh? How did it take? It took me 20 years. These men have got 1 year, 2 years.
And automatically, they've been there longer than you in that position. So they feel better, they feel superior to you.
So
So
it's
you're
bullshit.
like a little boy again amongst these fucking Edomites, man.
It's mad. Yeah, go on, Slacky, go on, man.
This is the book of Job 21 and 7. Wherefore do the wicked live, become hard, are might in power. Their seed is established in their sight with them, and their offspring before their eyes. Their houses are safe from fear, neither is the Lord of Most High upon them.
Right, because that's another thing with these Edomites. Usually with certain industries, it helps that your parents or someone that your parents know are in those industries. Like for instance, you can go to become a dentist, right? Or become a doctor. But there's certain experience that you have to gain by basically going under another doctor. And so they keep that to themselves. And they make it difficult for you to gain the experience that you need. So it came out that what they were doing was, like, say like you had one guy and he was a lawyer and he had another Edomite, and the Elamites do that too. Elam are good at that. And you got another Edomite that's like a doctor. What they'll do is my son wants to become a lawyer, you're gonna work with his dad. So you get the experience through him and the leg up into that industry, and then I'll do the same with your son. So I'm a doctor, he could come over here, and when he does his studying, he can come over here and get his experience and so forth. And so you get that help through the networking.
Yeah.
That's what them Edomites do to set their children up. Now we don't have that benefit. We got to struggle and do it the hard way.
You know what the example of that is as well? Like, you get, I think you get passport in it, and you got to find someone to verify a signature.
Sign it, yeah.
But it's always out of particular professions, and so you can't just be anybody, right?
Yeah.
Someone has to be in the government, or has to have a particular role in society. Blah 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 blah. How many have that? It's difficult sometimes. You're asking around, calling people up. I've got an uncle, or aunt, anybody, someone that can sign this.
Yeah, because my grandmother does that, because she's got like that thing in it. It's got qualifications. So people
and you
have
might
to
have
come
one
to her.
person, the whole family is actually relevant. You know what I'm saying? You have to do that. Otherwise, you're asking all kinds of next people, man.
That's part of their blessing. They got that position, and so they can ostracize you in an industry by not offering you the work experience that you need.
Marginalizing me.
Marginalized. Yeah, it happens, man.
Yeah.
They get that leg up, man. That's how it works. Yeah, man.
Their houses are safe from fear, neither is the Lord of Most
Their houses are safe from fear. What's that called? The suburbs. The middle class neighborhoods. The buttery areas, man. They don't have to worry about certain crimes and certain things happening in their areas.
This is not suffering with poverty.
That's right. Exactly that. And then who lives in those areas? Predominantly Edomites. And then who lives in the inner cities? In Birmingham, the inner cities in Manchester. It's Jake. Jake ain't living in Leamington Spa. They get them gated communities. Yep. That's how these Edomites be living, man. Go down Richmond, area hella nice, but Richmond. Even when we was up Epping.
It's in the name, innit?
Yeah, Richmond. Hey, Richmond's nice, man. And when you go through in Richmond, there's not one chicken, not even a bit of a chicken and chip shop. It's all them like bespoke bakeries and restaurants. You ain't seeing listen, I was searching for a chicken and chip shop. Bad. I needed that chicken badly. Couldn't find one, fam. Now you go barking.
5 on the same strip. 5 on the same strip, man.
That's what you tell, man.
And the betting shop, you know what I mean?
Or you get like a Greg's. That's the bakery you get. Them man are getting proper traditional bakers, man, with all kinds of whole wheats and all
dainties.
Them dainty things, man. Yeah, down Richmond, man. Hey, if you ever get the chance to go down there, I might go down there this summer. You can ride the river, the riverboat from down Richmond down the Thames. back down to where I might take my kids on that.
I ain't been down there for some time, you know.
Yeah, I might take my kids down there. But that's what them coffee shops, yeah. That's how them Edomites be rolling, man. You know? That's their area. Whereas us, man, are in like the ends. Ghetto living. Go on.
Yep.
These streets, man.
Yeah, postcodes, man.
Yeah, fighting over postcodes, man. Running from niggas at the bus stop. Dodging crackheads as you come out the station and shit.
Shit.
Hey, Barking's fucked, man.
Messed up.
I know you. Oh, you're fucked. You got.
Yeah, I'm there. It's cool right now. I don't see no one in it. But
yeah, them
you know,
crackheads,
as I said to me when he came on the scene last night, he goes, "Oh, I got for Barking, man. Yeah, interesting place." I said, "What is that? That's the word you used to describe it."
Yeah, it's different from where he lives, definitely, man. That place is just filled with crackheads. Like every time I come out of that station, some crackheads are either rolling on the floor fighting, or like some madness is going on, man, and the police are just standing there looking at them.
Everyone's got a can of drink in there, bro.
Yeah, it's fucked, man.
Fucked up.
Piss everywhere. Fuck. God.
Yeah, definitely not like Richmond.
Oh boy.
Neither is the load of Most High upon them. They are both genders, and it fails not.
Oh, we got to mention the so-called JUCO. What are the areas that they live in London? Golders Green. Where else? And Stamford Hill.
Yes, the one.
Now,
the major one, yeah.
those are buttery areas. Hella buttery. Those are rich areas.
Got private police.
They got private police and everything. So how are they the Israelites? The scriptures say the curse shall thou be in the city. So how can they be the Israelites where, and I'm pretty sure any brother from anywhere would say the same thing, that the Jewish quarter is buttery area.
Tottenham and that. You know, certain places in Tottenham and that.
Yeah, they're buttery, man. They got the good real estate, man.
But they, because obviously, you know, we know North London's gonna be is a bit rough in it, but
yeah, where
they
Jake
don't live
lives.
there.
Yeah, they don't live where them areas where Jake is.
They live the other part of Tottenham, you know, where they're cordoned off from the rest of them. Private school, everything, like private.
Yeah, I remember when I went to New York, I saw their
schools.
private they got the private ambulances and all that.
Yeah, mad.
It's a cemetery, isn't it?
Yeah, you got their own cemeteries and yeah. You know.
Yeah, that
Getting
proves
preferential
that
treatment.
proves that they're not the Israelites, man, because they live in good conditions, man. They don't be ghettoed out. In fact, that's why you never really grow up with one. Like even when the one guy we knew, remember Jew Boy? There was Jew Boy. I don't think around our way there was one of them, Jew Boy, but he lived in a corner house. You know them big massive corner houses. They always had like 5 cars. He had money.
Well,
Jew Boy.
I don't even know. I didn't reckon.
Yeah, Jew. I remember. Actually, maybe he didn't go over your sides. That was the only so-called Jew I knew was Jew Boy, and Jew Boy was known to have money. He was a money man. You know what I'm saying? His parents had bare peas. He lived in that corner house that was near the first. You know that first bus stop off what's that road off Lodge, going down towards Beacon Tree? No, the other one.
Avenue.
Is it the Stamford Road? No, that's Stamford Road. Is that? No, it's not Maple Spread. How the fuck am I not? Woodward? Is it Woodward or? I don't know. You know that main. You know that when you're going before you go over the hill, you could take that right, and that'll take you towards Beacon Tree on my side. Yeah, that road right near that bus stop. He lived in that big corner house that was just there, and he always had bare cars in there and all that. He had his own. Remember back in the day, he had his own ped. One of them ones. He didn't steal it like everyone else. Like he didn't steal it. He had his own ped and shit. Like, because his parents had peas, man.
I remember him, you know. I don't think I've ever known one personally, you know.
You did. You remember the little youth that used to ride around on the bike as well? The little skinny youth, the tall. He was a so-called Jew, but he never told no one.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is, isn't it?
But you don't really
cover all the time, innit?
Yeah, you don't really see Dean. I think it's Dean, little Dean. You must remember little Dean. He used to ride around on the ped. But anyway, these guys, you don't really see them in the ghetto like that among Jake. You don't really see them among Jake, man, because they're not in the same socio-economic realms as us, man. They're just not.
They've got them unsuspecting names, isn't it? Like they're nothing close to being like that, innit? It's like yeah, Hardy or something. I don't even know who he is.
They're them crypto.
Yeah. I tried to watch Matty G last night, man. I think he's gone, bro. I don't know what happened to him. Private, it was like, I don't know.
Oh yeah?
I don't know, bro. I was trying to show.
Oh, okay. Matty G is a legend. Nah, but he's seen him, innit? He's seen Matty. Anyway, go on now.
their bull genders, and it fails not, their cow calves, and it casteth not a calf. They send forth their little ones like a flock, and their children dance. They take the timbrel and harp and rejoice at the sound of the organ.
Right, so they send
kids.
they send their children out. They make sure that their children get the proper education, the proper links.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and for the longest while, it was all good. When they die, the children got a nice inheritance between each other. They could use that to buy some more houses and all that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, what does Jake get? Like, Jake kids, half of them go jail. Like, half of them go jail. The daughters, multiple relationships broke out. Like, mad, like just bare madness when it comes to Jake.
And if you left anything, bro, man are fighting for him, bro.
Oh, yeah,
There's
fighting
fights.
for
There's
the-
not enough to go around. Like,
the
everyone's
oven.
fighting.
The toolkit, the TV, the remote.
Fighting shit,
One
bro.
man might take the remote. Next man's taking the TV.
Yeah.
It's a mad
Stand
thing.
off. Stand off, bro.
It's mad. Like Jake, our children. You know, the child might die, might get stabbed up on the way from school.
Yep.
You know, kidnapped.
Is that one? Yeah, that one.
They spend their wealth, their days in wealth, and in a moment go down to the grave.
And that's gonna be the sweetest thing about it, man. You know, he might think they're high and mighty right now, man, but in just a moment, it's all gonna be lost, man.
And they're gonna come back and they're gonna spend their life in misery. That's what it's gonna be. Hey, the brother said the 1948ers in Manchester have it good. We know. We don't need to guess, man. We know anywhere these guys are, it's buttery situations going on. All kinds of butter, that organic butter too.
Yep.
You know, they're eating the organics. They're doing
So
good.
it's like, why in back, you know, we're so-called black people, why ain't they treated the same, bro? Why ain't they give us something, you know? They ain't good. Esau, man. You know, he ain't about that. He ain't about you. He's there to oppress you, man. That's what he's there for.
Yeah, that's why Wiley got on them.
Yeah.
And they cancelled Wiley, man. They didn't want to deal with that because they don't like Jake eyes being set on them. But it is. And eventually Jake are gonna make movements on them. All them devils that's up in Golders Green and all that, Jake are gonna roll up on them, man.
They know what it is.
The Lord's gonna
They know
put the
what it is,
spirit
man,
on
but they
Jake.
can't, you know, can't say too much, innit?
Bro, the Jake, hey, eventually when them race riots happen, man, Jake gonna roll up in them areas, them buttery areas, and take their shit, man.
Yep. Take the butter.
Take
with
all
them.
that kosher cheese. Go on, man. Yeah, take all the butter, man. Good,
Yeah, that's it.
that's it on that. You get the Sirach, the 13th chapter.
Yeah,
Oh, you got that? Okay, you hit that from I think about the 4th verse.
or start from 3.
Yeah.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus 13:3. The rich man has done long, and yet he threatens withal. The poor is long, and he must entreat also.
Right. So the rich man, these men would do dirt, and then they be acting like they were the ones that are the victims,
Yeah,
man.
received injustice.
It's mad. Yeah.
Oh, man.
They'll be acting like they're the ones that did the wrong. But guess what? When Jake do something, we gotta apologize, and that's the kind of spirit that they got us under. We're not allowed to complain about nothing. Vocab say, forget about that. They want us to basically thank him and say sorry. And what are we apologizing for?
Yep.
You know, we ain't got nothing to apologize for.
And the worst thing about it, well, not the worst thing about it, but the thing about it is as well, the spirit of the prophets, you know, the spirit of the elect, they're meant to be complaining about these things, man. You know, all the wickedness that goes on earth, man. So you're not complaining, man. There's something wrong. They want you to shut up.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what the prophets are about, man. The men of the Lord are not about shutting up.
That's right.
If thou be for his profit, he will use thee. But if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee.
And that's all it is. Esau has just all been about using our people, man, for his own gain. But the scripture says these nations shall no longer serve themselves of us.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about. The day's coming where our labor, our lives are not going to be dedicated to the enrichment of Edomites. It's going to be dedicated to the righteousness of the Heavenly Father and our own enrichment, you know, and towards our own people, and not towards making these men living cushy lives. They're going to be dedicated towards us living good lives. They're going to be dedicated to us having buttery living circumstances, because they're going to be building it. You know what I mean?
Precept.
Go on.
Isaiah 14:3, and it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. Oh, it's like I wrote it up actually. Yeah, verse 2, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives whose captives they were, and shall rule over their oppressors. You know, you want to serve us, man. Okay, because hey, you know, hey, the Lord's done with us serving you Edomites, man. The Lord gonna hey, do that trading places for you. Right? So you're gonna get put underfoot. You know, your work is gonna be attributed to us. We're gonna gain off your labor. You know, and we don't want to hear no complaining, man. Because you talking about how you shouldn't be saying shit, we shouldn't be complaining. Hey, we helped you, we civilized you and all this shit. We gave you Nikes.
We're gonna civilize you.
You know, yeah, we ain't gonna get no Nikes though. You're gonna be barefoot.
Horrible footwear.
Barefoot
For real. Why not?
Calluses. Callous foot. Looking like Tree Man.
You're gonna be living that beach life, you know what I mean? Barefoot on the sand.
But yeah, hey man, hey, you're gonna find that anyway. Because like I said, these are things that are in the scriptures, man, and we know wherever the Lord speaketh, man, that it shall be. You know? So when this day comes, we're gonna rejoice, we're gonna be in joy over that day, man. Because you deserve it. You deserve everything that comes to you. Because you've been getting away with shit, man, that you ain't paid for yet. You know? So we don't want to hear all that complaining, man. You had a good run.
Yeah, they had a good run, man.
Had a good run.
It's over now, but there's not much chance for man to get that good piece of the pie anymore, man. Because Esau himself is breaking down the middle class, man.
Yep.
Hyperinflation and all this kind of stuff. Even his own people, he's just like, nah, it's a wrap for you. You know what I mean? So a lot of you little mini Edomites, like, you had your chance as well. You can't get up into that billionaire status, man. It's just, that's how you should have been living, but it's too late. You should have sacrificed more goats. Go on.
If thou have anything, Sirach 13:4, if thou be for his profit, he will use thee, but if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee.
That's right. Esau don't really care about you unless it's profitable to him. He's not charitable at all. He's selfish. He only cares about himself, and that's a fact.
What he can gain. You know?
That's why these politicians comes every year and promise you a whole bag of things to get your votes, and then you go back into obscurity once they're done. Simple as that. Alright, if they need you, they'll make it look like they're doing you a good deal, but ultimately they ain't, and they're already thinking of a way to take back everything they gave you in the first place. Once they got no need for you.
Are you reading it currently? We're going back into the trust not their enemy, man. It explains all that. You know, he'll use you. You know, he'll take advantage of you. But when the time comes, man, he'll change his countenance and do all kinds of wickedness, man. You know. Yep.
Yeah, like Saddam was saying.
Yeah, they're friends, bro.
Saddam was saying they set him up, and then they ended up, the same man that set him up, they ended up killing him.
Yep. Same with Gaddafi. Done them all dirty. You know. Even Bin Laden, bro. Like, they were.
That was their boy.
Yeah. You know. And then one day, nah, you're not used to us no more. You're gonna be the villain in this story.
Traitorous. That's why it's because when they shall cease to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with them.
That's right,
Esau's treacherous, man.
Yep.
You can't be trusted, man. Even among themselves. You see what Britain did with Brexit? They can't be trusted. They be pulling out of deals, man.
Yep.
You know?
If thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yea, he will make thee bear, and he will not be sorry for it.
Yeah, they had a lot of entertainers that were like that. You know, when they had all the money, all these Edomites come around and they start telling you they could do this for you and do that for you, and really they're just taking all your fucking money. And then when it's all said and done, you end up broke and you ain't seen none of these Edomites again. You ain't seen them again. They're gone because they took what they want from you like parasites, and they're gone. And you thought they were your friends. Nah, they just come in like vultures.
If he have need of thee, he will deceive thee, and smile upon thee, and put thee in hope.
That's right. Oh, that's what the Windrush. They had need of them. Oh yeah, come, yeah, we accept you. You know, you're good. You know, all this talk, and then look what happened. That's how it always is. If he needs you, he'll give you the good speech. You should see the speech that they gave describing the West Indian man. The West Indian man is strong and valiant, and they were giving man all the sauce,
All accolades.
all the accolades. That's not the same way they talk about West Indians now. Why? Because they don't need you no more to fight their war. When they needed Jake to fight their war, they were bigging Jake all the way up, man. Strong and valiant.
Kissing ass, man.
Kissing all that ass. As soon as the war was over, you fucking monkey. You fucking monkey. Start
Well,
throwing bananas.
Rashford, man. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. But to be fair, Rashford, yeah.
You know?
Trashford, man.
It is that.
Rash Bandicoot. Anyway, go on.
Rashford, you know.
He will speak thee fair,
Yeah, he will speak good, man. He'll give you all the promises, and that's what he's always done to our people. Promise them, and through Christianity, giving you all these promises that he's gonna do something for you and free you up and make. He ain't done none of that. Not even a bit of it has he done. Not even a little bit has he done, man. You're still socio-economically crippled in this man's society.
Quick one. See, Romans 16 and 18 says, For they that are such serve not our Lord Yahweh Shai, Mashiach, but their own belly, and by good words and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the simple. And that's what Esau's done.
Yeah.
He's deceived the hearts of the simple, man. You know?
Yeah, like, and the main ones that do that is them Democrats, man. I'm not saying them Republicans they're devils too, but them like Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, they know how to talk them fair speeches. If you don't vote for me, you're not black and all this shit. They know how to talk a good game, and I'm not racist, and America, and then black people, and blah 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 blah, and yeah, it's all bullshit, man.
Heal the world.
You know, like Vocab Malone. No, I believe in equality for everybody. You know, the black and white people can be safe. No, he don't believe all that. He's just trying to keep you docile. The church is the most segregated fucking space in America. They don't care about you. That's just to keep you in your place, to keep you from doing what you got to do in the scriptures, man. As a man, that's what Christianity is all about. And you could tell that by them sorry simple fucks that he's got rolling with him, man. They're hella sorry, man. Them Jakes that's rolling with Vocab are sorry. How are you gonna do with them? They ain't no threat. They can't do a damn thing. Dudes are soft, man.
He will speak thee fair, and say, What wantest thou? And he will.
What do you need? What do you need? I'll give you what you need. You want good jobs? I'll give you good jobs. He tell you what you want to hear. Come on.
And he will shame thee by his meats until he have drawn thee dry twice or thrice, and at the last he will laugh thee to scorn. Afterward, when he see thee, he will forsake thee and shake his head at thee. Be aware that thou be not deceived and brought down in thy journey.
That's right, man. You think everything's all good and you're laughing and joking with this Edomite. Meanwhile, he's already planned your downfall. They've already set you up. You don't even know it because you think it's all good. Yeah, it's all good for now because he's getting what he wants.
We read it earlier, man. He's working for iniquity on his bed, man. You know, he's been planning this.
Was that James 5:1?
He's been planning this, man.
And that's what this New World Order is all about. In this New World Order, he wants to put all you Israelites into hardcore slavery, man, with the chip, and put you back into real chattel slavery. That's his plan. He don't really want you Jakes walking around and wearing Jordans and that was for a time.
Appease you.
To appease you, you know, to stop you from going completely buck wild. The time's coming where his plan is to just depopulate your ass, and the rest of you just have you chipped up and doing as you're told, and that's that.
Fucking zombie monkeys, man.
Yeah, that's why they want to put the chip in the brain. And it's funny because I was watching that American Gods, and in the American Gods, Mr. World, who's portrayed as an Edomite man, then for one episode they had him hide himself as a black woman. Through the whole thing, he was an Edomite man, and then in one, like, for all the seasons, season 1, season 2, Mr. World is an Edomite man, and then for one of the episodes in season 3, he turns up as a black woman. Like, but he didn't even last as a black woman for the whole season, for the whole episode. I think by the end of the episode, he switched back to being the white man again. So they're just showing you, they know they utilize that black woman as a front. Yeah, and then in there, basically what he's doing is he's using the tech companies to develop a brain interface so that they can control the minds of humans to worship him forever. So they don't have to, you know,
worry about
deceive no more. They could just make them worship. But that's just Esau wants. What they're showing you right there, like the brain interface, the chip in the forehead.
Yep.
You know, Neuralink and all that business. It's all in the scriptures, man. That's what Esau really wants for you. He wants complete control over your lives. That's why he's trying to tell you when you can hug people and when you can't hug people. He wants to control sexual consent. Did you give consent? What is shit?
It's the book of Ecclesiasticus 14:5. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. There is none worse than he that envies himself, and this is the recompense of his wickedness. And if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly.
Yeah, anything that Esau do, it's like he didn't really want to do it, but he knows there's an agenda. He's setting you up. It's the jab.
part of the method.
You know, what did Teddy Atlas say? You're putting bugs on the windshield. That's what the jab's for. The jab ain't a power punch. You ain't trying to hurt the guy with a jab. Sometimes you just throw the jab out there just to blind them to come through with the right hand. You pepper man, you know, you do that distraction. So sometimes Esau might come with something and you think, oh yeah, he's doing good, but you don't know what he's got coming behind that.
He's changed.
Esau don't even change his clothes, man. Esau don't change, man. It's an illusion.
And at last he will declare his wickedness.
Right, at the end of the thing, that's when he's gonna do right, and that's gonna go in with this mark of the beast. In the end, he's talking all this good talk about the Maxine and how he cares about you so-called black people, Hispanics, Native American Indians, and
save lives.
This is a form of reparations. I know that we ain't really been dealing with you the right way, but finally we can use this vaccination as a way of atoning for our sins. And all this talk, and then all that, at the end of all of that, it's just gonna be bullets and chips. Bullets and chips, man.
Yep.
Syllables. Yeah. Bullets and chips. That's what it's gonna be.
James,
Simple as that. And then you're gonna find out that of the wickedness.
Yep.
it's the book of James 5:1. Go to now, the rich men, weep and howl for your misery that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is conquered, and the last of them shall be a witness against you.
Right, because that's why the scripture says, are there yet the treasures of wickedness in the house of the wicked? Because there's the reason his gold and his silver and his riches and his money is corrupted is because of how he received them riches. Mm-hmm. It wasn't through stiff upper lip and fair play.
Hard work.
Yeah, like these British, stiff upper lip, fair play. Nah, not even a bit of fair play, man. It was all skullduggery. And there's a term called blood money. You know, you watch these programs, it's like you got that through blood money. It's like a curse. Like the way you earn your money, the money itself, it being in possession, is that the mummy's curse. It's a curse. Well, that's Esau. His wealth that he's amassed becomes a witness against the wickedness that he's done. The robbery and the murder and the skullduggery that he's done to amass those riches, the riches themselves become corrupted. You know? It become a curse unto him.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah.
This is Micah chapter 6, verse 10 says, "Are there yet the treasures of wickedness in the house of the wicked?"
There you go.
It's all evidence.
It's all evidence. Yeah, it's just like breaking into the, when they arrest these big boy drug dealers, they use the money as evidence. Because like, where did you get the money? The first one said, where did you get the money from? And they can't prove where they got the money from. That becomes evidence of their illicit dealings.
Have you got your receipt for that? Did you purchase that fairly? You know, legitly? No, of course not. Murder, criminal activities. That's what Aaron got his wealth and his fortune.
Enslavements.
You know,
skullduggeries, usuries. You know,
unjust balances, man.
Hostile takeovers. You know.
That's right.
So it works. That's how they do the thing, man. Them big corporations, man, I got a gang mentality, man. You think Coca-Cola and these, man, ain't got a few man whacked?
Oh, them are cutthroat.
You think them man ain't got a few competitors whacked out here? Of course.
And you even watch it, man. You watch. I remember watching. It was not a documentary. It was like a series that was about the Great Railway. And how the men
they were warring.
Yeah, bro. He wasn't pretty.
Of course not.
Man, bare skullduggery, man getting X'd off and all types of things, man, because they wanted that power, that control over that. You know, to make the money.
We were like Soviet after Russia, after the Soviet Union, man. Them dudes were just whacking each other off for that oil money.
Greasy, man.
That's how it is.
Yep, that's it.
Next thing you know, a guy get whacked off. They said it was a mugging. That's how they do it.
Some thug got paid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to whack some man.
Yeah, it was a mugging, attempted robbery. Nah, it was a hit.
James 5:3, your gold and silver is conquered, and the last of them shall be a witness against you, and it shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days.
And these guys have riches that's untold. You know something about the Forbes list? What people don't realize, right, is that the Forbes list, you are only on the Forbes list if you declare your wealth onto Forbes. That's how you get on the Forbes list. So if you don't declare your wealth to them, you're not on the list. So people read the Forbes list, top 10 richest people in the world. No, that's the top 10 richest people that want you to know about them and to know what wealth they declare to you. Because when you're talking about the Rothschilds, their wealth is not just in money. Their wealth is in also the assets that they own and control. But they don't declare all those assets because it's none of your fucking business. So they're not going to be running up on Forbes and telling Forbes. No, that's what these new little bitch made billionaires that want to be seen do. Man like Elon Musk and these guys, these new boys on the block. And they use Elon Musk and Bill Gates and Bezos as guys that they could put out there to say, yeah, these are the rich guys. This guy's richer than them.
But even if, like, you know, because I know I've seen some of them now and again on there, right? And they're not very high up. But they can declare what they want to declare.
Declare what they want to declare.
You know, oh yeah, this business is worth this and this much or whatever. And they don't have to declare it all.
They could have a bag of gold
Just
sitting there in some chamber somewhere on the ground. They don't have to tell you they got that bag of gold there.
Yeah, it's just misdirection because now you're not focusing on them guys. You think, oh, they're not really doing it like that. You know? But, you know, Bezos is the guy though, isn't it? You know? Bezos
man.
He's the elite. He's the toppest elite on the planet. No,
they got treasures. They got lands that they own through subsidiaries and proxies and all that kind of stuff. Like they're doing their thing. They got wealth. So they've heaped up wealth for these last days, right? Ridiculous amounts of wealth that the average person can't contemplate. Yeah, because one guy was saying like he was doing like people don't even understand the difference between a million and a billion, and the way he did it, he portrayed it, he was like, he did it in seconds. So he was like, you do a million seconds, I don't know, maybe you could do it, you could do like a million seconds in the past and do 1 billion seconds in the past, and it's like 1 million seconds is just like maybe like not long ago, but in 1 billion is like fucking like decades and decades. That's the difference between a millionaire and a billionaire. It's ridiculous. Like, remember, like a billion is 1,000 million. That's a huge increase. There's a big difference between a millionaire and a billionaire.
Imagine, you gave yourself a day allowance for how long would that go for?
Flipping hell. And then so when you're talking about trillionaires, and like I said, that's just based upon valuation. Because wealth ain't all about paper money. You can have assets that are worth more than the amount of money that there is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it.
There to buy it. Do you know what I mean? It's a mad. If you value that asset, it's hella expensive. Like a whole country, how much is that worth? You know what I mean? Like people, a whole country of people paying you taxes.
What was that a movie? Like they were selling planets and the people.
Yeah.
Trying to get money.
Yeah.
Mad.
Yeah, how much is that?
Quick precept. Psalm 73 verse 7 says, "Their eyes stand out with fatness; they have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak loftily concerning oppression. They speak loftily."
Right, because these people, they believe that what they're doing is right. It's because, like the brother said, they believe in do as thou wilt, and the philosophy of might is right. So if you can, their thing is, if someone is stupid enough for you to manipulate them and steal their money, then you've done the right thing, because it's like natural selection for them.
Yeah.
Like if that's the way they think about things. So if you're weak, like according to the scriptures, you aren't supposed to just fuck about with the weak. On contrary, just because you're strong doesn't mean you abuse the weak, because there's one which is stronger than you. You know what I mean? That will come down on you. What you gonna do then when the Lord comes down on you? Yeah. But in their mind, it's like if you're strong, that justifies anything you do to a weaker person, because if you kill them, it's like natural selection. That's what you should do. Their philosophy is way different. These people are evil.
And this is what it is, the two warring, types of philosophies, that are at war right now is Esau's philosophy of death, decay, right? And you got us, with faith in the Lord, doing things the right way, to promote life, They're two opposites. Just like we read in that same scripture about being opposite,
And that's chaos, man. And that's why the world is the way it is, when you can just do whatever you want to do based upon what? Just because you can. So if you can do it, you should do it.
Same with Cain. He's that same mindset.
Yeah, he killed Abel because he could. Not because he should, but because he could. And that made it right. Justify it, man. The devil. That's how I said these elite devils, they don't feel no way when they're sacrificing children, because as far as they're concerned, that's what they were there for. You know what I mean? Like,
for us.
if you could do something about it, then yeah, but you can't do nothing. These devils are evil and very vindictive, man. They see other human beings as just animals, man.
And this is why they don't believe in their Heavenly Father, because he hasn't stepped in yet.
Yeah.
But they're gonna find out. They're gonna find out the horrible way, man.
They're sick people, man. Sick puppies. Go on.
Finish with that? Yeah, I'm done with that. Yeah.
This is the book of James 5:14. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have leaped down your field, which is of you, kept back by flood, cries, and the cries of them which have leaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth.
Nobody's taking.
Okay, cool. Sorry, say that again, Art.
James 5:14. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have ripped down your fields, which is of you, kept back by fraud.
Right, we live in a fraudulent system where they set up the monetary system for you to lose. They print the money, and devalue the currency while they're paying you the currency. They devalue the currency that's in your bank account. Yeah, they tax you. Imagine this, you're getting taxed on your money. You take that money, you invest that money, and then they tax you on the investment. Capital gain. So they're taxing you upon taxing you. But them elites, taxes don't apply to them super elite. They have their loopholes and their ways to evade. And then even that devil that did the biggest tax fraud in American history, I think it was Bill Clinton that gave him a pardon. What was his name again? He was a so-called Jew as well. He got caught and he did the biggest tax fraud. Now here it is Oh, Wesley Snipes. Wesley, I don't know if you can find the guy's name. You could just type in like tax evader that Bill Clinton pardoned. It was a big thing. He was on the run for years because he was wanted for tax evasion. The name might come to me later, but he was doing mad tax evasion, and then he was on the run, and then Bill Clinton just pardoned him. I'm sure it was Bill Clinton. He gave him a presidential pardon.
Mark Rich.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That demon. He did the biggest known tax scandal in American history, and he didn't do 1 day in jail. The president pardoned him, and he went on a run. He went on the run. So here it is. You did the crime, and you didn't even attempt to pay for your. If he went into jail and then Billy went and said, "You know what, man, I pardon," I still wouldn't give him a pass because they didn't pardon Wesley Snipes. He did the full term, but then the guy got a pardon without doing a day in jail. And you tell it, that's what the scripture said earlier about the rich man. Let them friends, man. You know what I'm saying? What kind of wickedness is that? And he was stealing millions. But you do the same thing, and the IRS, they'll deal with you wicked stuff. You know? That's how it is in this man's society.
You know, nah, just for show, you know, man's getting, Little Wayne's getting pardons and shit, you know what I mean?
Fucking Lil Wayne.
We're talking shit. That's talking that shit,
that
bro.
demonic gremlin, man. Like Trump must have been like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, man. Thanks, man.
I mean, he got bars, but he man looked like a straight demon, man. He got
which of you kept back by flood cries, and the cries of them which have leaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth.
right. The Lord hears all the Israelites that we've been crying for years because we ain't been paid our proper due according to the work that we've done. We've been getting abused by this man's system over and over and over again. At every turn, this man's trying to fuck us over, right? At every turn, and then it's getting to the point where the Lord don't like that. At the end of the day, the Lord heareth the poor, man. The scriptures talk about defrauding not the poor and not giving him an occasion to curse thee, because if the poor man curse thee in the bitterness of his soul, the Lord is going to hear it. Okay, I believe that's in Sirach. About the poor, if the poor man cursed thee in the bitterness of his soul, and we're in the bitterness of our soul, man, in this man's society. You gotta because he's not paying you enough to get the things that you need, then you gotta use credit, and then he set up a credit system. And when you really think about it, man, them credit cards, man, that's a madness. How are you charging a man fucking 39% APR? In what world is that even? What's going on? When the central bank, when they're creating the money, printing the money out of thin air, they're handing it out like 1%, 2%. So how are the banks then setting up credit cards and doing it for 39%?
But then what's worse than that, people with even worse credit, they can't even get credit cards, have to get the payday loans at thousands of percentages, man. How does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Not make no fucking sense at all.
Yeah, it makes sense if you want to crush people, man.
Yeah.
You want to crush people, man.
Yep.
And so that's what they're doing, man. It's all fraudulent. This whole system is a fraudulent system, a fraudulent, oppressive system, and they use the money and the labor system to even further oppress people. The pension system is oppressive.
Designed to keep poor people poor, and those that are middle income, and they're being made poor now. Really, the wealth is meant to. Well, they want the wealth with the elites. That is it, you know. And some other little guys under them and that. But really, they want everyone poor.
Yeah, like Bill Gates. He's a little guy.
You know.
Bill Gates is a little guy. He's new money, man. He ain't old money.
Because it just seems that when you're poor, there's bare obstacles to get even just half decent living. Bare obstacles that you're so poor. You want to buy a house, like stamp duty. There's all types of duties, all types of taxes, all types of this and that. You know. And when you sell your house, you gotta pay the tax for that. I can't remember what it's called now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Stamp tax or something?
Yeah, no, that's what you get before you buy the house.
Oh.
But when you want to sell it off, you get more tax on the house. So you're just being drained the whole time.
Inheritance tax.
Inheritance tax. You're being drained consistently.
Some man are using that Bitcoin.
You know, it's not designed for you to grow. It ain't designed for you to go up and up and up.
No,
You're there to be stagnated, you know? Blockades.
Scripture call it.
Yeah.
Ecclesiasticus 4:5. Turn not away thine eye from the need, and give him none occasion to cuff thee.
That's right. The needy, our people, we've been the needy, man. We've been suffering. We've been impoverished, man.
By your hands.
Right? We've been the underprivileged. All right. It says, don't give man no occasion. You know, and it's time for you, Jake, to call upon the Lord, man, and stop praying for these fucking Edomites, man. Because that's what they want you to do. Oh, Lord, please bless America. Forgive it. Nah, fuck that, man. May the Lord destroy this place, man, and bring our enemies down, man. Start calling on the Lord to take this devil out, because this devil is coming after you and your children, and he ain't trying to fall back.
Well, this is the thing as well. How are you going to pray for a people and for a nation the Lord is going to destroy? That doesn't make any sense. Like, what a waste of a prayer. Because it ain't going to get heard, man.
You better off praying for a BMW if you're going to do that before you pray for Esau.
You know, because that's kind of productive, man. The Lord has all these plans is to destroy these Edomites, destroy America. I mean, you're going to defend them. What a waste of time.
For if he cast thee in the bitterness of his soul, his prayer shall be heard of him that made him.
And we are cursing Esau, Edom in the bitterness of our souls. We are cursing Esau, Edom, man. And why the hell not? Go on.
This is James 5:5. Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth, and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in the day of a slaughter. Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he does not resist you.
Yeah, because we ain't really done nothing to this devil back. There's been a few rebellions here and there, but ultimately Jake more time trying to appease Esau, man. Trying to work with Esau. At every stage we've been trying to work with it. Like I said, going back to the Windrush, them man were proud to be British, man. They were ready to come over here and work for Britain and build up the place. Jake didn't come up here with a plan to bring Britain down. That was the furthest thing from their mindset. They were coming to build it up. Yeah, we love to be part of the Commonwealth and all this bullshit, man. Even to this day, there's a lot of Jakes cooning all the way cooning. Yeah, man, and British, yeah, bigging up the Queen and that. Yo, ban the Queen now, you mad?
Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and has long patience for it.
Right, and our precious fruit that we're waiting for is you Edomites to be under the foot. For you Edomites to be under our heels. For real. And it ain't gonna be no joke thing, man. Like we really believe in this, man. And we really desire that, man. And we really gonna do it, man. We're gonna put the foot all the way on your neck. The whole foot.
Until it is...
Hey, we're actually gonna do that, man. We're actually gonna put our foot on your necks. Cause that's a symbol. That's a symbolic gesture. I'm sure, was it Joshua that did that with the 5 kings?
Yeah.
The 5 Canaanite kings, and he told the leaders of the captains of Israel, and he said, "What? Rest that dusty foot right on his neck, man."
So your enemies be. You know?
That's yeah. Rest. We're gonna rest our foot on their neck. We're gonna have Edomites there, and just for fun of it, we're just gonna rest. Hey, put your neck down, boy. Put that foot. You're gonna feel my weight on your neck, man.
Very vulnerable, lads.
Very vulnerable. Gonna be like a dog showing his belly.
Quick preset.
Your women too. We'll put a foot on their necks too. Yeah. Becky, children, everything. Yeah. That's really gonna hurt them, innit? No. Big size 15 boot on the neck, innit?
It's like a boot on the foot. Revelation chapter 13:9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, and he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
Right. So when the scriptures speak about us dashing your children into pieces, man, against a stone, that's because you were dashing our children to pieces. You were dashing our children. You were slaughtering our children. Native American Indians, many a massacre. You can read it in the book Bury My Heart, I Wounded Me. Massacring our pregnant women, massacring our children. The Braves would come back and the whole village is dead, including the children. You scum. You Christians, you did that. You Edomite Christian, and Vocab was there in the reincarnation. He's a pussy also. He's one of them ones that probably, you know, man.
Documenting it.
Yeah, he would have got busy, but you know them ones here, like when a man's already injured, he just run up and juke a man then, innit? Because he's not one of them. He's not a proper Edomite, is he? Yeah, you know, if it was the movie Ants, he'd just be a worker, wouldn't he? He wouldn't be one of them soldier ants, is he? He ain't really no top don like that. He's probably one of the water boys. He's probably one of them dons.
That type of guy to poison the man.
Yeah, a woman's weapon. Poison, a woman's weapon, man. Vocab's a real pussy, old man. One of them Gadite youths would have killed him, man. So it's like he was probably one of them water boys, or you know them mans that just hold the horses for the next soldiers.
You know, one of the smallpox blankets.
Yeah.
Sneaky ones,
that's
man.
the correct one.
The
He was one of them little past. Yeah, that's what he was, the altar boy, man. Vocab Malone. We are in the you want to talk about you don't believe in reincarnation? It's true. Vocab Malone, you were one of them altar boy priests that was noshing off the priests. Yeah, you was one of them. You had to be one of them altar boy priests that was noshing off, man, and giving up the smallpox blankets, because you ain't really you ain't got that get busy spirit. So we know who you are in the reincarnation now. You're a smallpox blanket issuer. That's what you are. They sent you with the blanket. You know. Now we know. See, everything gets revealed. You know what I mean? So you're gonna get destroyed, man. Serious, man. You a weasel, man. So we already know what you're gonna get.
You won't get a warrior's death.
Yeah, man. You ain't going to Valhalla, man. Go, man. Pussy, old man.
Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and has long patience for it, until he receive the early and later rain. Be ye also patient, establish your heart, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh.
Right, that's what we're doing. We're establishing, getting ourselves in the right mindset. You know, trusting in the Heavenly Father and His words, learning these scriptures, and getting our mindset correct, our biblical point of view correct for these last days. And part of that biblical point of view is being at enmity with you Edomites. That's just part of it. We can't be Hebrew Israelites and be friends of the world and be friends of you Edomites, because that wouldn't make no sense. That would go against the biblical you're the devil. How you gonna be friends with the devil? Which program is that?
That's like you back in Egypt. That's like being friends with the Egyptians that are beating the shit out of you. Like, why
that's
would
not
you?
in the scriptures, man. And you're worse than the Egyptians. You are actually worse than the Egyptians. You're the actual devil that the Bible speaks of. You're out here mutilating children and calling it transgenderism. And then, come on, man.
But yeah, you get circumcised now. They don't like that.
Yeah, they were against circumcision, but you can mutilate and take a man's rod clean off, all the way. You know what I mean? Not even a bit. Not even a bit of it left. Like the whole thing's gone, black. And then you put a hole where it was, so it's actually less there. There's less than what there was before. Mad thing. You know what I mean?
Negative displacement.
Negative. like yeah, man got hit with an energy weapon or something. Negative antimatter. Man got hit with an antimatter in the groin, blood, and just violated. Yeah, to hell with these devils. But anyway, Arkham, we're gonna close up with that, man. Hey, Esau, you're going down, man, and that's the bottom line. So all you Arkham should be in that spirit. Like, and the more you learn about Esau, the more you should be in that spirit. That soldier spirit.
Know thy enemy.
Know your enemy, and a soldier should always be ready. The scripture says, being in all readiness to fulfill to revenge all disobedience when our obedience is fulfilled. So that's part of being. How does a soldier be ready? In the mind. A soldier's prepared in the mind, waiting to be called upon. So in our mind, we should be filled with the perfect hatred for these Edomites, and rightfully so. It ain't hard. All you gotta do is learn about him. That's the worst thing about this man. if you love Esau, you don't know him.
Yeah.
The only way you could possibly love Esau is if you don't know him. You know the fabricated version of him. Once you pull back the skin layers, you pull back the reptilian layers of skin off this devil, and you see who he really is, there's nothing you could do but hate him. He's detestable. He's Joffrey. Who could love Joffrey? You show me one person on the earth who, that dude caught so much hell from playing Joffrey that he stopped acting. He said, I can't act no more because man were meeting him on the street, yeah, and wanting to do him harm. And it's like, bro, I'm not Joffrey. I acted the role in the movie, but that Joffrey character was so wicked and demonic,
vile,
yeah,
so vile
and detestable that everyone hated him.
The king, young king.
In Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know that bit where he killed those fucking prostitutes, man? What was he doing? What was he doing? I'm sure he's the one that killed Ned as well. He was part, I'm sure he had a part in ordering Ned Stark's death.
Probably,
Yeah, man. Fuck that dude, man. Anyway, that you Edomites, you're Joffrey. You're a nation of Joffreys.
Made to be hated.
You're made, that character was set up for the audience to hate him. And it worked. Because the man couldn't walk on the street. People were onto him.
Might as well get plastic surgery.
But you Edomites, the Most High written in the script for you to be wicked and demonic,
right.
so that we would hate you for it. And rightfully so. Because you got Native American children buried under your churches. What's up with that? You know?
Right.
So with that, you know, say Kal Halal Yahweh Hashem Yahushai,
Shy.
and double honors onto the apostles and elders, man. Shalom, Markim.
Shalom.
Shalom.